What's up, dudes? Good to have you. Thanks for taking part of the package. We're just gonna go through all this. I don't know if you guys are sticking with the roles or not, but I'm gonna act as if you guys are. So one of the biggest things that we were talking about was just overall AR setups. Again, with Hackney Yard for Hardpoint, I just don't know if we want to be running two ARs on this map. I think if we're changing up who's running AR, that's fine. But I think if we have the ability to run 4 MP5s, I think we need to consider it on maps that it makes sense with.
I'm on 80 ping right now.
So we'll take a look as far as our setup. This is from the unfavored side, I believe, going into this. Do my hotkeys still work real quick?
You should try.
Beautiful.
My connection type is wired. You want to talk about push, Zach?
So the biggest thing about what we're going to do here off the rip when it comes to double ARs, I imagine we're going to keep one player up this way to watch this side as much as possible, and the other is going to try to sit top window to watch through here. If we're going to do that, just know that if we're putting a player this way, we've got the ability to set an SMG up this way, right? I mean, we should. I've got... currently active. That was me. All right. So if we've got the ability of having an AR sit top to watch inside this way and an AR here, or even if just our AR is going to play passive through here, we need to be trying to set an SMG through the middle cut, I feel like. Just because there's not enough angles for 4 people to be watching in here. 2 of you are going to be waiting down here for nades. The other one's going to be up top. Where does the 4th one going to go? If you've got an AR that's going to be playing slow, have him sit there and have a SMG push with. I think that's the best way of doing it. If we're not making this play, you know, the other idea is to put your AR through the window and have an SMG rotate behind. But three people is enough for this warehouse. But I think. Yeah. So look at all of us just sitting back here and just kind of waiting. So paralysis is gonna go up top. Gonna get guns. So again, it's one of those things. If we're playing through, if we're gonna keep a guy up this way, but no one's gonna come here, we have to make sure somebody's going this way to watch here. So we're playing double defense here for a push through. That's the whole idea. Now we do free up a player in here. Again, one of those moments really quickly that we have to be mindful of what we're doing. If this guy's gonna push through this way, paralysis coming off spawn, you don't need to be playing passively right here. You should be trying to push forward to get to at least the top of the green window. So who is this? It's Crooked. If he's looking to make a play, he's not going to push through this willy-nilly. If you could be over ahead of him, it'll give this opportunity for this play to happen more successfully, especially if these trades end up going our way. But what you're going to see is Crooked's going to sit here and wait for help, and paralysis, you're sitting here watching nothing. There's Crooked. There's paralysis going up top, and you're just waiting here. You got to move back. You do got to move over faster. So you eventually get here, and now this is one of those things where what are we doing to get across the map? Again, Crooked, you found a kill, but you're pushing for more, and this pinch should be relatively successful. And take a look. We've got a really nice little box in here. The only thing I would say we could do potentially different is if we're trying to flip spawns convincingly, let this guy play a little bit more defensively. This guy should come back over here to watch this cross. So that way we're watching for crosses first while we're soaking up free time. And then if we get another bit of kills, then we can push this guy right behind, and then we should hopefully get a spawn up here. The only real thing I could say we could maybe do differently. Crooked's going to push really aggressively through. He's going to get scouted out. Not going to get the knife. Now paralysis is out here by himself. And actually, did we... Oh, okay, you died trying to push through this way. Got it. So what are we going to do off a spawn here? We're going to try to flood through this way. It's the only play that we have. Paralysis is staying alive, which is what you want. But the biggest thing is, once we have control of the warehouse, we need to make sure that we're trying to find our way to watch an angle. Again, we can't all be here, because that gives them an opportunity to watch from here, from here, from here, from here. They have too much of the map in their favor if we're only trying to hit through here. But if we were to, like, again, we're seeing it happen right now. Chase is moving up the middle of the map, but he's got an AR, so... Or no, he's not. I'm sorry, he doesn't have the AR, does he? I forget. Who was... Chase does have the AR. So yeah, it's one of those things, like, if we don't have mid-map control, we can't be pushing our AR through this way. Ideally, what we need to be doing, if we've got a player who gets through a little bit, we're trying to hit this warehouse. We've got a nice setup, but we're spawning here. Unless we lose the warehouse, the player should be coming back mid-map. So that way we've got a little bit of help, and we can set up this line. But the moment that we lose this guy, and we've got nobody in the middle of the map, everyone has the opportunity defensively just to hold off. But if we've got this guy playing defensively, we've got to push through the map to where they cannot successfully come to retake this warehouse. Then we're finding the opportunity to get kills through here, and we could turn that into helping this way, or helping this way, or pushing through that way. But if we're giving them all of this part of the map, it's going to be really difficult for us to ever get a spawn flip.
Cop car on you, Andrew.
I'm weak. I'm weak. You know, I'm waiting.
I naded it.
We're waiting for a setup. This is good. Angle is great. So again, are we communicating that Crooked is watching this? Just look how slow we're sitting here. Are we pushing through this way? Are we trying to come through this way? Are we trying to go through this way? This is our best chance at breaking. And again, one of the things that I always say about trying to break P2 is that this break is actually technically, because the spawns are always going to be here for you, is actually easier than going for this break. So if Crooked is finding spawn kills here, we have to push through faster.
He's low in the corner,
I like this though. We're zoning. The problem is we essentially just lost track of number 3. He just snuck by while you were making your way up. He came around the back, so that timing is just a little poor. But the setup is pretty solid. The only problem I would have with this is the fact that, like, from this angle that you're at currently, Chase, look who else is helping this same angle. You guys are literally watching the same thing. So, like, if you're going to be playing an AR, if you're coming up, I think, honestly, saying you just need to be playing for sound on the backside. And really, again, this is where double ARs kind of hurt you, because if you already have an AR set up here, where the hell does Chase play? I don't like this spot for an AR. So with Paralysis sitting here watching this long cross this way, better serving this office area is an SMG. So again, I just don't like the 2 ARs on this map for you guys. It's forcing you guys to play really slowly. So like Chase is still up here, Paralysis is still here.
I'm sitting at P1 door.
Hold that.
And Paralysis is going to get killed from behind here. He's going to be upset about it. And again, it's just one of those things, like, if we go backwards, like, I get that we think that we have a spawn trap set up, which is fine. Like, having one up top AC, one inside warehouse, one window. That is ideal. Someone to watch the back and then someone on hill. This is technically ideal. But the problem is when you've got a guy who gets here late, we don't know for sure what's been able to go back this way. So it's a little bit tough. It's just a tough timing thing.
He's low in the corner,
It's one of those things that as we get aware, we just need to be aware of how long was this route open for them.
I'm sitting at P1 door.
Hold that. I'll let you know. Oh, I got yellow.
And then this guy getting the back really kind of foils all of our plans because he gets that double kill. And now all of a sudden we have to back away. But again, because we've got a double AR setup, Chase is essentially just sitting here hoping he can get kills for as long as possible. The best thing that we could do to kind of regroup from right where we are right now is to do what we're essentially doing. Get upside top L, get someone back in the yellow, try to find a way to get this control. Ideally, we want this control, yes. But if we have to, we want to get at least to this. Losing a lot of time right now. And I mean, again, like, look how stacked up we are right now. 3 of us right here. And all of us are watching this cone right here. That's all we're watching right now. We got to be more cautious about what we're setting up as. And for putting our AR in the hill, that means that our SMGs need to be putting little pinches up. If we've got people spawning here, someone needs to call for Megatron to push through or to push around, try to get a pinch, try to get back this part of the map so we know what we're working with. But we're just staying so closeted up here for so long. Now, 4 of us are looking at the same thing now all of a sudden.
Oh, bottom green, dude. Bottom green hitting. Dumpster.
Top AC elite. Top AC elite. I can't tell.
We should be able to get our rest this time.
And it's one of those things again, you know, it's just, I'm looking at the minimap, and it's, after this point, Chase will die up here. We're just like all bottled up right here. We're just not moving. Watch how, look how little we're moving.
Hey, they didn't bottom out. They didn't bottom out, Roper. Two top green, two top green.
This is a decent play for you, Trauma, but like, I don't, like, Chase doesn't know where to go. Paralysis is trying to find an angle.
Top AC elite. Top AC elite.
Like, we're just not, we just have no idea where we're going. Again, the double AR, if this is the setup where you're watching this and Paralysis is watching this, and we've got SMGs off respawn, we're missing a lot of pressure over the middle of the map. It's just, we're not zoning out the map well. We're not sure where we're going.
I can't see top AC.
We don't know exactly where we want our ARs to play from, and with two of them, the AR has a more difficult decision because the spot that he might want to play is taken by the other AR. So, yeah, I just don't care for this double AR setup from.
Hey, smoke the half wall, dude. You gotta smoke the half wall. I naded him.
Oh, one of my P3.
You can kind of see it. Like, look at our AR's engagement. Like, 9, 4, and 7. We just don't have any engagements. Their AR elite. He's 3 and 6 technically, not doing much better, but it's just the amount of engagements that we get with double ARs is so much less.
Yo, they're blue van or something, like right outside.
So how are we gonna break P4? That's the big question. Number one, we don't want to flood through this way. We never want to flood through that direction. If we can get one of our ARs to top third to try to check for this, that's fine. But if we're gonna make that play, I think if we don't have control of office, I think it's okay for us to try to send one for a pinch and do something along this line. See what I mean? Like, whenever I put a vertical line like this, it means like this is like a defensive spot. This is a push, the pinch. This, we're just making sure we're not dying. And if we end up getting a kill top, then we've got the opportunity to essentially hit from angles. And if, let's say, for instance, that we get a kill here, here, and here, what does that mean for number 6? For Crooked, what should you be doing? If we've got numbers to start hitting this from this direction successfully, your play, if we've got numbers, hopefully you're being verbal when I ask this question of what should you be doing, your play is to sit here and watch. Try to cut off the next set of respawn. Because the minute that we get these kills, and you make that push through while we're making that and we're making this, they're going to spawn back here. So we just got to be very mindful of knowing what our number situation looks like. But we don't have numbers. So with that, this is the good timing to go for a pinch. Then that's going to result in 1, and you find a lucky second. We ended up clearing up the back. This is about picture perfect. But again, there was a problem here simply due to the fact that, again, we've got 3 members. 2 of us are going backwards. We already have 2 players back here. The fact that we're sending 2 players this direction is just too much of an overcommittal. So Trauma makes, or pardon me, Crooked makes this great play. Got nobody sit here and help him pinch because everybody's still back this way. But this is the most passive I've ever seen you guys play. Like, I don't even know if it's like you guys are, I'm not really listening to the comms. I don't even know if you guys are looking for this guy. It's just off spawn. We're making this rotation for some reason. I just don't get it.
He's top P5.
So this is just a flank. It's not even a full pinch. And fortunately, Crooked finds 2 kills, because if he doesn't, then we're in trouble. But the simple fact of the matter is, because we didn't send anybody this way, they spawned a guy in the mid. He can make the easy pinch, and we don't get a full break of the hill because of it.
I died. I knew he was going to be there. One in tools. He's holding tools. Nice. That was 3. They're spawning in the back now, yeah?
And again, just quickly, look how many of us are sitting passive back here. Like, it's fine if we're, but like, it's just one of those things, like, you can see, like, the ARs just don't know what we're looking at. Like, both of us are watching middle now. It's just, I don't know. I don't care for this double AR setup from you guys.
Yeah, I'm just sitting on middle.
But if we're gonna do it, I guess I should be not criticizing, but trying to help to make this constructively better. If we're gonna run a double AR, and if we get success on a pinch like this, and we've got 1 AR that's currently watching here, that gives the freedom of the other to play a little bit more aggressively. This should be enough for an anchor, especially if we've got someone positioned somewhere in this part of the map. They should be spawning up here, which they are. So if we've got an AR who's watching somewhere, let's just say he's watching something down here. You could, instead of going top third here, Paralysis, you've got a buddy in Crooked who could potentially be making this play one more time, and you could be sitting up top. Again, set up this 50-yard line. But instead, we're gonna have one guy going for New Hill. We're playing passive. We're watching the same thing. We're hoping we can get a cross kill, and I don't even know what Crooked's gonna do on this.
I'm watching top then. Call it if you hear it though. Half follow me. I'm backing up. I'm backing up. I'm backing up. Here, I'm gonna slide.
He's still there.
It's just we're losing some intel, I think, generally.
Watching right side.
But the fact that Chase is playing this with an AR is just a little silly to me.
I got right side. I got right side. I got right side.
Another good way that we can set up a defense here with ARs is we just have one player who's sitting top yellow, helping out with Crooked. The other one is just sitting top third, again, watching the backside of this. And if a push does start to come through this way, we could just sit this guy backside yellow. He can watch the long cross. Someone sits right here to watch the short, and we got ourselves picked up for a little bit more of a turtle.
I don't see him. Top out, Nico. Top out on the corner, Nico. I'm picking up left side. I'm picking up left side, dude. I spawn here. Tank goes low. Top L. I put 3. Top 3. Top kill me. Top 3. Top 3. Top 3. Top. One more, Jamie. Front.
Yeah, we just got broken way too easy here. And essentially, this whole push that they're about to hit is just one comes this way, they flood through top. These guys win gunfights coming back this way. Because again, look at the angles. Looking at right now, Chase. I guess you technically just spawn, but what are you going to be looking at when you spawn here? My question. Find out. We're not sure. We just went that way. No, never mind. I want to go top yellow. Never mind. And we just don't know what we're looking at.
Dead. I spawn green.
So they flip spawns out on us.
I'm weak as fuck, Nico.
They break for 20. That's the end of that hill. That's a big break for them. And it comes in the back end. We just don't know what we're watching.
Yeah, I am.
Generally speaking, though, I'm not going to say it too much more, but if we're playing for P5, one AR needs to be responsible for one way. One AR needs to be responsible for the other. Whether we're bottling up and this guy's playing here, watching this direction, or if he's playing top yellow, we just got to know where we're setting up. But the fact that we saw Red Chase go here and then said, never mind, I want to go back. Never mind, I'm dead. Like, we just need to make sure that we always are knowing who's watching what. On your kill cam, on your death cam, when you're in the spectator, you need to find where your other AR is and watch the other angle.
AC crane fire car, dude. They're fighting through right. Nico. Top out, jump down.
Like, this is fine.
AC crane. AC crane fire car, dude.
Oh, Toast just got a long-range kill onto our AR. That's bad. That's not what we want to see.
I didn't see the thing.
And we spawn out.
They spawn in the back. They spawn in the back. Just get the time. He's weak.
And again, just so passive. If he's gonna be playing, got one player with an AR playing for the warehouse, we need to be up on this, watching here. Someone needs to be watching this. Looks like Trauma's trying to get there, but we need to be in a position to watch this much sooner. Because I don't even think 5 seconds before that we were watching. 10 seconds before that.
Heavy. Watch that shit, dude. Hey, top green, bottom L, great crate, top L, don't die. Okay, no,
yeah, it's just we are way too far back right now. Slow AR does not necessarily mean from downtown AR. It just means that you're playing for a slower rate of style because you're using an optic or whatever. You're playing a little bit longer range, sure, but like if our homie is pushing through middle, what are you looking at right now? Are you just watching him die? Because that's what it kind of sounds. That's what it kind of seems like. Yeah, we're watching over the middle. Our teammates trying to come through here. We're watching the right now. But like that angle, I know for a fact that angle is not a great one. I think you should be able to push up to this crate to help this way. It's just one of those things that, and again, like right here as well. Like we're playing on top of the box, I guess. Yeah, that's no bueno.
I killed the kid to my right. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't see the thing. My bad.
That's just tough.
Just get the time. Yeah.
I think another thing we could potentially be doing as well is, you know.
Okay. Top mid going AC crate.
So we lose. So it goes 1, 2, 3. And then we lose spawns because of it. That's just tough. But I think again, the more passive we play, the less map we can zone away from our opponents.
I'm watching mid crate now. They didn't close. They top out behind you guys.
Top out dead. That's 4. Push through this.
Yeah, that call's too late.
Watching mid crate now. close. They saw top L behind you guys. Top L behind you guys. Behind you guys.
Top out dead. That's four. That's four. Push through this.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those things that like we all didn't realize how many were dead, but as soon as we start to realize that there's nobody left in warehouse, we've got to start making the right call. And again, though, paralysis is taking the long route around. You just got to cut middle as fast as you possibly can.
Stay there, Chase.
Blue gate.
Screaming window. I don't see anything useless.
Check a window, kill me. He's weak.
Nade in front.
Oh, yeah, 3 bullets.
Yep.
Brick wall left side.
Milk, one milk.
Yeah, white crate too. White crate dead. The burning car. Forklift weak.
It's just like look at our triangles right now. We're literally watching the exact same thing. That's the biggest problem is we're watching the same thing. You're watching here, you're probably watching here. And because we're running double AR and this SMG's off the respawn, there's no way for us to follow up with this push that Trauma's trying to make. So if you're the fast AR player, you've got to get up in there. You've got to help him. You've got to get to a spot to where you're right here watching this long cross while he's pushing through that way. Technically speaking, you both should be making that play. He should be cutting up. You should be watching the top, and paralysis should be the one watching here. That should be how we're rotating through this, and then that sets up a little bit of a pinch potentially. But we're going to be staying here for a while, I feel.
Forklift, one shot.
Top window's dead. Top window's dead. He's out of
Look at us searching for information.
2 in hill, 2 bottom hill.
Got to commit to getting there.
Chase dead. Nice. No one, there's one back here.
Now it's 1 dead, 2 dead, 3 dead, and we're pushing in with no numbers. That's another dead. Good kill, Trauma. But again, 27 seconds. Our SMGs are still pushing. Our ARs are rotating.
Right, nice. Top window. In map dead. Toast.
So we got to decide what we're doing. Like if we're playing just to try to contest the scrap, that's fine. But we're not playing the scrap. Crooked could have gone through this way, but now he's coming to come this way. And our ARs are not in a great spot to watch this full push through. Again, like we're sitting in the same spots, first of all. I don't know.
Yeah, he's stunned forklift. He's stunned forklift. He naded too. I'm nading him.
I got them both. You're good.
So we win for scrap.
Yeah, try to flip. Top green.
Watch bottom.
Okay. Top green.
Bros. Literally on top of each other. Again, we gotta commit. If we're playing double AR, you're not gonna be you're gonna have less engagements. You just have to commit to holding one person watching one way, one person watching the other. You see, like that's kind of like one of my things I wrote down a lot all the way through this was how many times we were on top of each other.
They're all fucking P1 side. P1 and mid.
Top L.
Literally watching the same thing.
Top L and AC. They're all
top.
He just ran right through my hill. Nice.
Top L.
And like our SMGs are getting kills in spots where, again, we need them to be the ones like so what's happening is like our SMGs are clearing spaces that are also being held down by ARs. That's another problem with what we currently have going on. If we're setting up pinches, great, but if we're using SMGs to clear space or clear out positions that our ARs are also responsible for watching, that also means that our ARs, as soon as those kills come through, have to find another spot to watch. And instead of our SMGs floating around the map to make plays like we did before with Crooked, where he can be setting up pinches, now they're the ones responsible for clearing out spots that are already being watched. So we're just limiting our mobility. It's limiting our engagements as a whole. Does that kind of make sense when I say that? Like if our SMGs are the ones that are going up to clear out spots that our ARs are watching, then we've got less total engagements. We've got 2 people responsible for watching the same thing.
Oh, he's low. Going
Top L. Someone knows.
top 3, bro. Stop flooding right, dude. Like, got sponsored.
He's close left in hill.
One shot in the fucking.
Top
The
L.
whole flooding right thing,
One shot here.
there's 50 seconds of hill time. So what's the play going to be? Are we just going to essentially give this up, try to play for this? That essentially, if we make that play, says that, thank you, we'll take your P5 spawns late in the P3 hill. Only play you have is to try to find a way to get an AR top third, maybe top window, try to fight this, get the SMGs to find a way to come back and rebattle this. You don't want to be sending everybody this way, because whoever this is, number 4 is Nate. He can single-handedly watch this while the rest of his team wants to play for spawns. That's ideally what they're going to be going for. As soon as we give up any kind of pressure this way and we start coming this way, unless we're trying to find a way to make that play happen over the wall, we're essentially giving them free spawn rotate if we're making this play. Or if we're trying just to get to B4 at this time. Again, 50 seconds on the clock. Best way to do it is try to find a way to smoke, throw all your shit this way. Throw all of it. Throw everything here. Try to find a way to smoke, throw nades, do whatever, blow everything up. So that way you can find a way to try to contest this at long range with an AR. Your SMGs can come here. You can start working with this line again. Rather than we're going this way, which means now we're boxed right here away from the hard point, and they can rotate back through. Because they don't care about what's happening over here, right? They don't give a shit what's happening over here. They care about this, and they care about this.
One more behind us. I got the eye cross. Andrew, there's one more there. I got him. Okay.
You can hell, dude.
And again, we just found a bunch of kills. But now we're watching here instead of watching here. While this is going to be a hopeful trade in our favor. We lose. Yeah, Chase is going for the trade. We just didn't have numbers for it. And remember that guy Nate? Yeah, he's already found another kill, just sitting and watching. They're just holding this line. They're holding this. They actually don't even want the P5 spawns. They could have pushed through in multiple ways, and maybe now that Nate finally got a couple of kills, maybe now they'll push behind this and they'll rotate back this way to get to the hill. But yeah, there we go.
One shot in the
Yeah. Our best opportunity is when we got those kills. Chase up this way, but instead of him going up here to help, because we were still committing here, it was just a split effort. That's a lot of time we just gave up on P3.
They want half all. I'm still on AC one shot. Wow. 4 bullets in AC. Still top green to your left, Zach. To your left, Zach. To your left. In that doorway. Top green. One top green. One top green. Top green. Top green dead. Top green dead. I remember.
The good hit.
No, Pete behind you.
1, 2, 3. P3 swing. Watch that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, again, this play, I know you want to make this play crooked, but if you're locking down this side door and your teammates are flooding from here, if we're getting this flood for free every single time, we have to know that we have to play defensively from here. If we've got a player in the hill, we're spawning this way, and we're still able to get there to reinforce from here, you got to give up this flank, because, again, we're giving up too much space back here. If, like I said the first time around, if we're making this play happen, you can't go this way because it opens up too much space for them to spawn back here. That's exactly what happens. So that's one of those moments that even if you find that kill, your best bet is just to sit P3 and wait. Ideally, though, we would have an AR sitting back here or sitting top third so we could stop that from happening. So now Paralysis has to track back. We give up every bit of intel over the middle of the map. Fortunately, we're getting some good kills, though. And TNT. And now 30 seconds. Yeah, so the whole reason why this breaks down is because we had to go back to play for P5 spawns. After this kill came through and the spawn was here, we had to essentially track back to try to take more of this map control. So it left this guy by himself when they're spawning either here or here. That's an easy reinforcement hit because they know that they just lost the back for P5, so their next focus is to make sure they get the scrap time of the hill. Then they'll fight to try to push through. So it's just one of those things we just need to understand where exactly we are on the map with how many numbers and what's happening around us.
Bro, how am I getting killed right side? These 3 guys looking. I got him.
I will say, too, you guys will notice this a lot, like, can you guys trust the fact that you can say a call out once instead of 5 times? That your team will hear you? Because that's another thing. Your comms are like green half wall, green half wall, green half wall, green half wall, green half wall. Like twice at most. Twice at most. If it's like pertinent information. Like This guy's green half wall pushing, like twice at most. I would also try to encourage you guys from killing like things like top green, dude, top, he's pushing through, bro. Like, just kill the words. One on the push, one on the OE. Like, just give information. You guys did complain a lot, to be honest. And it was not helping your comm situation when it comes to, like, what you need to be doing to, like, communicate to your teammates.
All green.
All green, all green, all green, all green, all green, all green. I feel like I'm listening to broken records. Like, nobody else was talking. You know what I mean? Like a bunch of fucking sardines. We literally all backed up for hill. And we didn't get anybody out front. We have nobody yellow. We're literally trying to hold this hill from here. As soon as I saw this, I knew you guys were going to get broke here.
Hey, just stay alive and hill.
Again, off spawn from here. Why are we going towards the hill? You've got 3 members here, and you just killed 1, 2, 3. You gotta be trying to zone as much as possible. This is a decent angle for you to hold, so at least you're understanding of it. Did we ever call out that we're spawning green? No, we don't. None of us called out that where we were spawning. Not a single person. Paralysis is forced to essentially fight inside the hill, but he's got nothing. He's got no idea where to look at. Gotta call our spawns. I thought for sure you were gonna get that knife, Mega. We gave away so much time. Between P3, obviously we never flipped for P2. Let them break for 3. We let them break for 4. Our best hill was P1. Not good. So I would say, you know, again, if I were to go back here really quickly, it's just one of those things we just got to know what is going on the map at all times. If P1 is our map, or is our hill, and we've got players that are somewhere in this vicinity, we've got to, even if we're spawning here, we've got to try to cut mid-map to help relieve the pressure, especially if we've got numbers warehouse, we've got one guy sitting up top, and we're still spawning here. We've got to push through the middle of the map. There is literally zero value of coming here. Your value is essentially saying, my teammates are going to die, I have to come reinforce the hill. We have the hill. We have the control. We've got to push through. That'll help put the pressure away from him to where he's watching long crosses and people this way. If you can watch this cross coming off this spawn while we control this, and if we find a kill, all the player back here has to worry about is what's immediately in front of them. And if we get kills here and start turning that into map pressure, then all of a sudden this guy just has to watch for respawns that are coming out and could potentially even float back, get on top here, and watch this while we're pushing through in some fashion. Getting away from P2 to P3, again, this is our initial hold line. It was unfortunate. Homeboy got through the back and essentially forced us all to back up this way. We set up our next defensive line here. Ended up getting challenged, and then we were stuck in this area. Got to know that this part of the map does not matter until after about the 30-second mark has expired. Because all they have to do is have someone sitting up top in any of these places to watch this. One guy can watch that entire push through while they're putting their attention right through here. So the best way to deal with it is to either get someone up top to get some AR pressure over towards these windows, or nade the living shit out of it, smoke it, nade it, concuss it, do whatever, find trades to the point where now we can actually get back into this area of the map, recontest for the hill, keep those spawns either forced. Again, we don't want them to spawn warehouse, right? That's the easy defense from this side of the map. The easy defense of 3 is from here. We cannot let them have this for free. We have to force them to try to make this play or this play. So the best we can do to try to contest this space of the map, the better. Then for P4 to P5, again, kind of the same thing. We just need to know what our ARs are watching. Set them up. That's my general recommendation, though, and I'm gonna try to not go as long-winded. I've spent way too long looking at that map.
I don't really. I normally go Z.
If I don't see anything up, I'm just gonna push back because they might be pushing back. It might flip, yeah. I go to the right side stairs every time.
I'll just go to hell then.
You go left side stairs. Yeah. That's literally what we do.
Double AR from the favored side. Yep, this is correct. Yep, this is correct. Yep, this is correct. It's a good rollout. And I think, Chase, you actually make the right call of saying, I'm not getting challenged here. I'm going to back up this way. That's absolutely right. I think I maybe have mentioned this the last time we did this, or I said it to a different team. But if you're going to put a player sandbags to watch the middle, as soon as he realizes he's not being challenged, you have to figure that the long hit is coming. And you can do it one of two ways. You can either come all the way to the very back, or if you don't like the initial angle and you want to put yourself up top here, that's fine too. The other play you could make is if we're running 4 SMGs, which again I recommend on this map, is if an SMG player wants to make this push through, then your AR could be sitting in the very back over here. Doesn't have to worry about this side of the map initially. And if this player loses his gunfight, then we try to focus on it. Sorry, I'm doing this very late at night. It's already past midnight.
One's in hill low, one cross. Left side. One's on me right far. One's on me deep right. I gave it sandbags. One's on me deep right.
What are you doing here, John? Why are you floating out this way? We just had a player sandbags. Why did you back out of the hill to come this way?
Deep right still. I need side. You're good. I got him.
Top mid.
How many dives to loot?
We spawn. Okay, I spawn.
One dirt. Bottom dirt.
Yeah, he got me.
I'm just confused why we have so many players in the freaking middle of the map. You backed out of construction to make this wrap? That will essentially guarantee our spawns to be back here. This is the last place we want to be spawning because the hill's over here. Wait, that's a mistake for sure. If you're going to want to make the play to go up the middle like this, cut through construction, come down from the Z stairs, and then come through the front door. Giving up sandbags is fine. Looking for a kill. If we spawn, and again, you figure there's trades happening. The person who comes off spawn should be worried about this initially for a little bit of time. Is that what happened, maybe?
One's in hill low, one cross. Left side. One's on me right far. One's on me deep right. I gave it sandbags.
Yeah, I guess you technically did.
Deep right still.
I guess I must have missed it. I thought you were up close in here and you just backed out of this. But even still, I think that your play is not to come this way, but to go through construction. Make sure that the pinch isn't happening because that's what happened. They got behind. Now they've got all control. So that's, again, one of those things that if Megatron's, or if an AR says he's got nothing sandbags and he's rotating back, your play is to come this way to try to make sure nobody's bottom construction rather than backing away and coming back this way. Because essentially what happens is, this is what happens timing-wise. He comes here and you go there. Like, we could give up. If he feels comfortable enough to back away saying there's nothing top cafe, nothing pushing through here, off of the spawn for you to get here, that timing is not great. What could have happened, though, because no one was watching the underneath, is someone could have made the play that did happen, which is a guy that comes through the flank. So you've got to pick that up. You got to pick the pinch up, not necessarily the position that your AR left it. That makes sense.
Right here. I got one. There's two there. They're all fighting back construction. Nice.
There's one more construction, bro.
Those are good wins. We take some control away, but we're giving up a lot of time.
I needed it.
One bottom mid.
Good help. Good nade call.
I'm picking up sandbag. They're hitting. It's PC or P3.
I'm picking up sandbags was the call. What the hell are you watching back here? Got an AR in here. Again, like the ARs are just like, if we're going to anchor with an AR, sure. But both of our ARs, watching a spot that Trauma just said he's picking up sandbags, I think. If sandbags is clear, we're not doing anything. Again, the engagements are going to be so low.
PC.
I get no fucking.
They're all BSD building.
BSD here, bro. There's one more. Oh, more. Oh, I got it.
By the way, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Anytime you get a chance, Crooked, to get this far up for free, get into that fucking gun shop, my dude. If you can play gun shop like this and just float around, never, ever, ever do I want to see you go from gun shop back into the hill. Never. Not a single time. If you're in gun shop, and let's say that they're starting to make this push come successfully, even then, I would rather see you flank around the backside of it, especially if we're still spawning here. If they're pushing middle, we're spawning here, I want to see you clear all of this space and come back. Yes, it might spawn you out back for a second. But if you've got the ability to play gun shop, and while you're making this hit, if you don't see anything, that means that there's only one spot that our enemies can be coming from. And that's the middle of the map, which means that these guys can just back up and hold cross angles. And just watch one door, you watch the other, let the pinch happen, reflip the spawns again from that play. Best case scenario, it spawns them out in Bufu for that hit. But likely what'll happen, let's say that this push is becoming successful. Maybe the guy from old is making that play happen and you're in gun shop. The only things that you should be doing, number one, is sitting there. If your teammates are calling that we're still spawning construction, you sit here for as long as you need to while you continue to get kills. As long as your teammates are calling out that we're spawning construction, you stay here. Every single time. If everybody dies in hill and we get ourselves a spawn back here, but we know that the hit was successful through the middle of the map, then I want to see you pinch behind it. Because here's what's going to happen if you try to go back to the hill. Let's say that both these guys die. You come back to the hill with your spawns being here, you're going to die because there's a 1v question mark inside the hill. And that leads to then these two guys coming in and dying. But if you push through the middle of the map, then all of a sudden, these guys, one of which will likely be an AR, is looking for a pick. And by the time that you clear everything out, we'll know exactly where they are. So, I never want to see you leave gun shop.
BS here, bro. There's one more. There's one more.
Oh, more. Oh, I got it wrong, bro. You gotta get that.
You're good. You're good. Wait, don't peek it. Don't peek it.
There's two there.
I needed your front. You front
One more, by the step.
Especially if you've got a homie sitting in your tight corner like that.
One's gonna go vines, probably. One's gonna go vines.
I nated bottom mines. I nated bottom mines.
I'm stunning vines. I'm stunning vines. Hill one. I can't even.
Pick a vine.
Nated vines. Nated vines. He's nated and stunned vines, guys.
I'll test front door. Front door. What two? That's four. That's gonna be four.
Toast in the front. Toast in the front.
Two front. One more front. One more front.
That's five.
It help. It help. And now, Andrew, exactly correct. You start pushing through. Chase, exactly correct. You go with him. The only thing that you could be doing differently here, 22 seconds. I would actually like to see Chase come this way, climb the ladder, and get top rug, while Andrew clears out bottom side this way. That way your team has an area to push up with. They've got a player up top watching from here. And again, if you push this direction, you push that direction with 22 seconds left, and we clear this, we're going to force them to spawn here, which is exactly what we want, right? So we do that mostly. Brooks finds two. Chase finds the other, but we're kind of holding the same angles. I need to see Chase get up top. You don't need to be down low ever. Crooked, you've got infinite dead silence right now. God, how hard you popped in this map. This is now again double ARs. One of them every single time. If we do not have spawns back here, which we currently don't, every single time. One AR up here, one AR up here. Every single time. But what does that mean? We only have 3 SMGs to try to hit. It's leaving us with a lack of numbers, a convincing lack of numbers.
Shanko got me archers. He went bottom mid.
Beat on and bottom mid. Or beat bomb.
Shanko,
What happened right there?
Bottom mid.
He got me. Shanko got me archers. He went bottom mid.
Beat on and bottom mid. Or beat bomb.
Okay. So we had one player, we had Trauma, who was trying to make this play happen. We got Paralysis that's locking down things from here. We've got 3 members middle map. So we just got to know where we're going to hit from. If we're going to commit to going this way, we need at least 2 players. One to hit side arch, one to hit the back. Essentially sit here and spawn cap while the other one clears this space out. With help from this guy and this guy. That would be ideal. But instead, we were wondering so much about what was going to happen on the trades, and we unfortunately died here. So now really the only player of impact is going to be Paralysis. Going to get gunned from the side. Yeah, we can't let them get up top like that, I think, too. If we're going to send 2 players up top cafe, we got to make sure we're holding that. Especially with the timing that we had in that rotation. Again, you got to always figure, like, if we're exiting this hill at 20 seconds and they never flipped and they're all spawning somewhere over here, their goal is also to get players up top. So until we have this control, I don't think this play works yet. We have to clear this out. So I think if we go backwards, Trauma, instead of you making a play this way, I think you need to go up top to help. And we need to try to clear this out as much as humanly possible. As soon as we get this control, though, then we look to either if we've got numbers in the middle to flood from here and here, or if we're still spawning here, then we try to come back this way.
Yep. Same thing in hill. Down mid, there, dude.
I'm one shot front.
And that's exactly what we have now, right?
Across right.
I need the side door, near the right door.
One shot in hill. One shot in the back left of hill.
Hey,
I killed hill, I got killed top.
Weak, close left.
Arches.
A good contest.
We're on the back.
No, AR, top mid.
Yeah, I went down. Chase, jump over. Bottom mid, Nate. You're looking for bottom mid, Nate.
Yeah, again, we gotta clean the comms up, guys.
Yeah, I'm
If we're bottom mid Nate, you're looking for bottom mid. You haven't killed Nate, he's bottom mid. Like,
You can just hold dirt
once.
if you want, Jamie, or do you want me to do that?
twice at most, please. You guys are gonna give me an aneurysm.
Try and push back, guys. Hey, just watch out.
Top mid, there's 2, dude. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, and that's one of those other things, you know, again, we're in the right spot here to hold this off.
Push back, guys.
But we had 2 players pushing backwards. Now we've got one trying to get back up middle. It's just, got to know who's going back for the hill. We got to know who's going to zone. We got to know where we're going to be doing it from. And again, here's both of our ARs watching the same thing. 2 ARs in this map is just not going to happen. But on the exit, 2 ARs. You want one to be watching from here, one to be watching from here. As soon as they're pushed back, one to be watching up top this way, one to be watching from sandbags. Treat it like it's P1 almost. Best as possible. I can say it that way.
One dirt. One Z steps, one in hill.
Alright, I'm going top mid. If you have an SMG, get out of top mid, please. Chase,
Like,
Holy fuck, bro.
Alright, I'm going top mid. If you have an SMG, get out of top mid, please. Chase, I'll go over the right.
Holy fuck, bro.
don't know what we're looking at. There's just not enough angles for us to watch.
I killed Nate, but I don't know where the other one's at. They're gonna come BS and
And it's like, Chase, again, like the fact that Chase has to feel like he's got to turn around to fight people, like, I can't get past this double AR, guys. I really can't. If we're going to run double AR in this map, you got to get rid of the optic. No stock, no optic. Get this stifled. Do whatever you got to do to get the gun up faster. But if Chase is sitting here watching this and we got Paralysis watching up top, we've got to know that we've got to have someone on the backside watching this backside. Got to set up a good... And it just looks like all of our setups are questionable. I hate to, like... I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself from the first time that we did this VOD review. Of, like, what our exact setups are, if you need the VOD link for it. Like, where are the positions that are best? That kind of video. Like, please let me know. I've got the VOD links saved. But once again, we're putting ourselves in a spot where, yeah, we got the kills. Awesome. But we've got nobody up. Yeah, we've cleared things, but oh, turtle. Playing from one side of the map, it's really difficult to expect different results. We essentially are sitting here saying that I hope we outfrag our opponents.
Stand back to me.
I'm pushing out your
Stand back, top mid, bottom mid, bro. Bottom mid, pitting, baby arches.
And again, if we're running double ARs from this position, Chase, you need to be responsible for this. You got to trust that Paralysis is watching everything else around you.
Top rug, dude. Turn hill.
Instead of playing from back here, hoping you can respond to somebody close to you, you know what I mean?
There's 2 in old.
Got broke again because of zoning.
try to get him out.
Oh my god, dude.
Two top
Watch
right.
out,
Yo,
Take care.
calm the fuck down, dog.
All right, so we lose P5, and we've, again, the downside is we also, because of how we were hitting this, again, like, look at this last bit of hit here. Watch us come out of spawn. We're going to spawn here, and most of us are going to go this way, and we've got 4 kill time left. Gotta go this way. We gotta sacrifice. Let's go 10 seconds before this. What happens? Ah, we're spawning in the back. So again, if we're spawning in the back, which is what we don't want. We don't want to spawn back here for P5. I don't think ever, personally. You want to be in the middle of the map. It's easiest to go from P4 to the middle of the map, to contest from the Godheady and soak up time and force them to spawn here. Because then when we do that, you get what they have as a setup. They have a guy on mid cafe, 2 watching from here, 1 watching from rug on the spawn trap. And then as they keep forcing their spawns in one of these 2 spots, they'll eventually back up to take not this control, but this control, where they're sitting top rug and top construction, and it's going to force you guys to spawn back here. So we go from one bad spawn to another bad spawn. We make it even worse because we try to come this way, and we're giving them high ground all over the place because of it. Watch how this all works. I'm just going to go to minimap.
Get in this hill.
Top rug, dude. 2-0. Top rug, baby arch.
Oh my god, I got fried.
We're gonna get spawn trapped now.
Yeah, and you guys call it.
Try to get him out.
Tom's just went dead. And again, at this time, like, we shouldn't even be focusing about this hill right now. We should all be going this way. We've only got 6 seconds left. And we decided we went this way. I think you got to give him cafe because, again, cafe is about to not matter at all in the next 6 seconds. You all got to get top rug. Watch this angle. Watch this angle. Try to get a push through from here and try to get a push through from dirt. Try to do something like that. But we all get wiped. We spawn here. We're starting to go this way. Now we spawn here. Now we're forced to essentially, the only play we have right now is to try to play from rug. It's the only play that we've got. But we've got one player going for a long flank. We're losing 1v1s everywhere. It's too much of a flood. Everyone just died individually in the last 10 seconds. There's 1. Oh, that's actually number 2. There's number 3. There's number 4. Here's number 5. We're just, we're looking a little bit all over the place here, boys.
Back construction. I have to play my life while I'm sandbag.
One's underneath the bridge.
It's been an hour and I'm through 1 map. 2 maps, barely.
He's on stairs.
I'm gonna move a lot faster through these. I think you guys are getting my general points, though. We gotta just, and I'll tell you.
I got Ivy on me. Ivy killing me.
The double AR, like, flat out, you guys just need to talk to each other. What are you watching? Find them when you're on your spectator cam. What are they watching? So you don't even have to communicate it. You just know what they're watching. I think a lot of it is just we got to trust each other. Like, fortunately, Megatron and Crooked went off this game. But again, take a look at our engagements at the top. Leads 13 and 18. Rail assist 10 and 13. Red Chase 12. And their 1 AR is finding more engagements than of our other one. It's got to find a way to get engaged more. And really, especially in maps like this. Now we're spawning in construction. We have to flood from construction. Tough. We're going to try to pinch this. Love to see someone jump up onto the wall, but have to try to contest. We have to contest 50-50s. ARs are doing what they can to try to get involved. Analysis is going to go for a station for P3. All the way around from rug. He's 4 spawns. And now, nobody called that they're spawning BS and D. If Paralysis knows that you're spawning BS and D, his job is done. He can come back and sit top rug. Anybody call they spawn BS and D?
To the right, counter, dude.
Sandbag's weak. No chance you all fucking pre-aimed to one guy in hill, dude.
Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody called it. And because of that, Paralysis thinks he has to go all the way to the back of the map. Gets gunned. And if we lose these spawns now because of this guy, this Nate guy, I'm going to lose full. I don't remember.
Fuck.
Hey, respawn close to the new. They said in the back.
All right, we got the kill. But again, if we just call out our spawns, I mean, I shouldn't be telling you guys this. If we call out our spawns that we're BS and D, Paralysis should just say, okay, cool, I won the rotation. I'm going to go ahead and set up for here at Rug Shop. Exactly where you want an AR to be. Again, one of the two spots. So number one, number two.
Alright, I'm mid.
There's two literally.
Case, what are you looking at right now? He's going to go do the job for you. Get over there.
2 and old hitting from like front door.
Top mid, then. Holy shit.
Now we got both ARs, top middle.
They're flooding mid.
Case is putting himself in the ladder room. Case,
My rugs or something, dude?
what are you doing up here?
Rugs now.
And this is the thing, is like, you guys never made these plays before.
Let him mid.
You guys never were in positions where your AR was sitting in a corner waiting for someone to push them. You're effectively doing nothing up here.
One small arches. Wait, small arches.
One's in hill, dude. Snake goes top rug. Thank you.
We've got paralysis with an AR trying to clear the hill. Is
Weak. On window.
it's just, this does not look intuitive to us.
He's still top rug.
I don't think I've ever seen Chase play like that before.
Top rug's 3 bullets on him.
I got one. There's another one. There's another one. Yeah. Got him.
So we're gonna lose rotation here to P4. We're doing a better job though of getting this direction. But again, are we really watching? Oh man, we just let them pop on us. Game here, don't we? Nice shots, Megatron.
One shot, fucking toast.
But the problem with everything that just occurred was that we again allowed them to make this rotation behind us first. Got a guy rug, so the guys that are sitting here at Cafe know that number one, we're still spawn trapping. Number two, if he falls, we know where to look when we come off. They're just got so much more information than we do. We're coming off of a spawn back here of, oh, we know we have to go this way, but we've got no idea what's in front of us.
2 top mid, dude. Fuck.
One top mid, dead. One shot, fucking toast.
And now Crooked's going to move forward.
P1.
He's by himself.
He just went in hill.
Our ARs, again, are still all the way back here. We're playing so fucking slow. Crooked's forced to pop off. He guesses incorrectly. That's the end of the game.
He's down the close side by dirt. The dirt door. Another one's double door.
And again, look how far apart we are. Here's one. Here's two. Here's three. There's one. There's two. There's three. We're flooding so much. It's individual floods, especially to P4. We need our ARs to listen to each other. We need them to talk to each other. We need to call out our spawns. That way we can give ourselves a chance.
If you jump up right here in front of us, on this, you can see their top and hold it.
We're just playing P1.
Like right here on top of that, you can see their top.
I know. Wait for these nades. They're gonna try and late nade. First nade, wait for the second nade.
So if we're waiting for nades, we need to free somebody to go up the middle of the map. We can't all just be sitting here waiting. We can't just all be waiting. Someone's got to get a little bit further forward. If anything, because if we're waiting for nades, we know that there's probably somebody else waiting to see what's happening this way, which this currently is. And if we're all waiting for this, we've got no ability to trade this guy unless it's at long range.
Alright, sure. I'll go.
Alright, I'm going up top.
Oh boy.
You have 2 top, 2 bottom.
This is already scuffed.
One more there.
One push on our side.
Already pushed up our side, yeah, Nico, try to push up to teal or something. Yeah, just get some more map.
Close side, or close side.
It's one shot, right?
And again, like, I'm just looking at what's happening on the minimap. So, Homeboy Toast, again, because nobody was pushing through for a trade, ends up getting in the back line. Him and Elite start to pop off, just watching opposite angles. They're already set up so damn well. And then once they get the break on you guys initially, all they have to do is keep one guy forward apartment, one guy on the hill. Everybody else is going to be worried about what's going on this way. That's all.
I'm going up top. Top bar.
Watch how this all transpires.
One top with me.
I get close. One more there.
One push on our side.
Already pushed up our side, yeah.
So watch how they're doing. This guy spawns, he comes right over here. Now he's watching river. This was Toast. He makes this play. Now he's starting to come back to middle. They don't have to worry about anything else besides what's going on. This guy can just sit here and soak up free time. This guy's going to get all the information and likely find at least one kill because of where he's positioned. And again, we're watching this, we're watching this, we're watching this. Because they know that the only play that you guys have available to them that they aren't prepared for is through the middle of the map.
Try to push up to teal or something. Yeah, just get some more map.
Close line, or
One
close
blue,
line.
one blue.
It's one shot, right? Bottom blue spread coast. You looking for him?
Whoa, there's another dumpster hitting bottom right here, in front of you guys.
High.
Got him. One more.
Top bars.
Really got to win that fight, Paralysis.
Please get through that. Don't hit hills, Zach.
Don't. Okay.
One top. Shankill, there are two back there.
I put 3 bullets into him.
And again, like, I'm just going to point this out from their point of view. Like, you guys start to win these fights mid-map, and immediately, look what happens. Homeboy number 5 backs up. He's going to watch the cross right here. His homeboys are spawning right here. They know they have to come back this way. So they're essentially going to say, I'm watching this, I'm watching this, I'm going to move in and watch this. So again, they go from first line of defense to second line of defense. And they do a really good job of it.
Please get through that. Don't hit hills, Zach.
Don't. Okay.
One top. Shankill, there are two back there.
I put 3 bullets into
They're putting themselves on ground that they could fight back from.
One to your left, Jamie.
One shot under blue. One top blue.
That's just the
Yeah,
ego,
one's
Charlie,
back
Crooked.
blue.
I mean, again, you should know that you're the only one left alive. This is what we want right now, at least, with 15 seconds left. Got to stay alive. You can't give up. You can't give them the ability to set up here again. Because now here's their first line of defense. Here's their second. Now they're back to their first again.
What's good? One shot. Top bar.
dead.
Back blue, back blue.
Hey, I'm one shot right now, back blue. Or front blue.
Top blue.
Yeah, I got one there. Back.
Watch that kid coming out
No,
from
he's
the
yellow card. One is yellow
yeah,
card. Two yellow
One
cards.
side, he's in the
Oh
building.
shit. Hold on, one shot. Check it out.
Front blue.
We're watching the same shit.
Back.
We've literally got teammates on top of each other. Top blue.
One side, he's in the building.
Hold on, one shot. Check it
But
out.
we got to win those
We need to
fights.
switch to short and go. I'm trying to board bottom bar. Spawn
I'm going
here.
top, Andrew. I'm going top
One
above
shot
you.
in the fucking back.
He's stunned. They're stunned bar side.
One shot on hill, Shanko.
Shankill dead.
Yeah, I got 2 bar back here.
One in the back kitchen. Killed me. They smoked out
back.
water side.
That's a really bad. That's a shitty spawn. That right there is modern warfare. We just cleaned this, started making this play, and they still spawn here. That's just fucking modern warfare. That exists because this alley exists. I don't know why. But at the same point, let's go back and see why that may have happened.
One shot on hill, Shanko.
So we're clearing.
Yeah, I got 2 bar back here.
One in the back kitchen. Killed me. They smoked out.
Yeah, that's just shitty. There's no reason. These guys should be spawning river right now. But maybe there's something to be considered because we kept our AR player while this clear was going on. Our AR player stayed top blue when he should be moving top bar or down low to sit here. But I don't know if it would make a difference. That's just fucking modern warfare right there.
Hotel side.
Our side, too.
Bar side now.
I'm weak as fuck.
One's
I'm
dead.
nading front.
One shot, weak and hill. He's laying down watching the back hotel.
Good kills.
Yeah, I'm just coming mid. Cut it
Top
off.
bar, dude. Top bar hitting old.
We got mid spawn.
The big win chase.
Trains. They're coming back. Dude.
I got 1 track.
Yeah, so the rotation a little bit wonky again. We got to know if we're spawning here that they are going to be making either this play happen or this play happen. So we eventually start working our way down, but we need SMGs to get right up in this little bus stop as fast as humanly possible. Or at the first one who's first back, if we're spawning here, the goal is not to get here. The goal is to get here, I think. Just so you've got the ability to respond from a safe angle here. You know everyone's coming this way. We've already got some at least contest over here. So if we can find a way to get back here and watch this, then we know for a fact that they have to be coming this direction or from the middle of the restaurant, which is what we want, right? We want to be in windows. We want to be around cheeky corners. We want to contest all of this space.
We got mid spawn.
Over there.
And we're trying to make that play happen.
They're coming to active. I got one
And we
front.
win a couple of gunfights. It's awesome.
Bottom tunnel, big bottom tunnel. This one.
This shit's so fucking.
Close tunnel. 5P5. He just hopped
Yeah,
up.
we gotta pitch that. And again, paralysis.
Laying down in the fucking thing.
It's just, here's the deal. Paralysis comes all the way back to sit here. This is what I was talking about in real time. We have to know that everything downriver is Paralysis's ballpark. As we come out of spawn, it's not just going this way. We have to be able to come this way. This is our lockdown point. Everything else has to be where we're hitting from. We can't just one-dimensionally flood.
Dude, deep right.
And watch how much we individually flood.
He's goes left and hill, on the door.
That was one individual. We're individually challenging outside. We're individually challenging right here.
Alright, watch out, dead.
Nice.
Yeah, window. I said the window.
Fort.
Window dead. Yeah, window dead.
I got second.
I'm dead, bro. There's 2 in hill, maybe 3. There's 2 in hill, maybe.
Chase, pull out a AR.
He's laying down by the door, dude.
I don't know.
Got
No,
hitting.
he's not.
One shot, bro. Like, he's dead.
Now there's 10 seconds left. Late to this rotation. Paralysis is trying to open up space through the walk. Fine, I guess, but again, even if you win that river walkout, so like, as we exit from that setup, we cannot go from here to pushing all the way through here. That's the last thing we want to do. If you're Paralysis, main AR, you watch this. As soon as we clear the hill, your next move is to come this way. Contest a long-range angle this way. Let your SMGs cut through. So that way they can open up space for then, again, you to continue to go this way. And I think you end up doing that coming up. You get yourself in top of blue, and you're watching this, hopefully allowing for a hit from multiple angles. The problem is we don't hit from multiple angles.
Yep,
Back out.
back.
Back out.
Yep.
Take
Back
us to
water.
the map. I have
Back
back
water
water
mid map. He's on P1, dude.
Water dead. I'm going top 2. Go quick, because they know I'm going up here.
Bad Zach.
One just crossing the bar, 2 bullets on
Yes, we're doing that now. Again, Paralysis is here now. We had an SMG clear out blue now. Our AR should just be responsible for watching what's coming across.
Back right to the hill. I'm one
He
shot.
gets
I
up
can't
top.
back
This is where Paralysis just feasts.
I got one.
Alright, let's go. Right here.
They're going blue square hard. They're going blue square hard.
Yep, this is a good response.
I got one bottom blue. Another one's blue cut. He's got up. He's jumping out. Nice. That's 4 down.
I don't have
Watch
any.
water. Yeah, we gotta pick up water here. We might still be back to on water side.
Setup here is good. The only problem is Shoddy got up top before we ever read him, and they got another one up through. Yeah, this is a tough moment.
Holy fuck, there's. Yo.
It all becomes because Shoddy got up top. We were a little bit maybe late on that rotation. But if we know we're going to be late to a rotation like this, we're going to be late making the play to get from here all the way back here. Give it up for initial. If we've got the ability to get into hill first, make this play happen. There's still active time on the hill, so they're not going to be spawning out here. They're not going to be spawning there. Take the 50-50 in the middle of the map. SMGs, whether they push over the arches, whatever. Try to find a way to get that going while one player comes around maybe to try to set themselves up. That's probably the best thing that we could potentially do. But you can see everybody, we already had one player go out water. Another one's coming out behind way too late, and they just flooded through the middle of the map. If we know, like, the thing is, like, if we know they're coming from the water side, if we know they're coming from this direction, the people in hill can deal with it. The better part is if we can find a way to know that they're coming from water side, and now we've got the ability to get these kills that immediately reflood in. We end up kind of doing that, but
He's mid, bro.
Place that hill.
We're just doing this in abbreviated numbers every single time.
Challenge up. Thank you.
Push back. If we can push back.
Take.
Great. I got finished up like 6 times.
One speed on, bro. One
One's
speed
the
on.
bottom blue, bottom bar, and 8. He's running the back.
Where is he? One's
Maybe
back
goes in the
pocket.
back.
Go in the mid cross. Back pocket.
Deep back, Nate.
5-4 or flowers.
He's in kitchen. He's playing kitchen. He's playing kitchen in the
One
back.
to the blue
Nate.
cross.
Got him.
3 bullets in him.
Nice. Got native blue square.
Good.
We gotta break this.
Kid blue square, kill me test.
That's a good one.
Alright.
Go on top bar.
Bottom bar.
All right. So what are we gonna do? Got P2 setup. What should we be doing? We should be trying to get one guy to go this way. What are we gonna do? We're all gonna flood, and we're all gonna die.
Just push up to the car.
Ace one shot, dude.
They have a trophy. I tried to
I killed
smoke.
one off cross.
He's weak
Again,
on
with
the-
double ARs,
Blue
it's
square, blue
like
square.
Let's go to me.
Top blue.
entire time paralysis is
Like,
sitting
why
here
would you
watching
call that
for a
shit out?
push
To
through.
the cross.
2 of you died by
That means that every single time we go for an engagement or a fight, we're fighting 4v5.
Ace top
Oh,
bar.
he's not top blue.
Plus paralysis' angle pays off.
He's still top blue.
Not to mention that we're going into a 4v5 with Red Chase, who's
Nice.
also using an AR.
One shot in hill.
Top hill.
Oh,
Top hill.
Native.
Shake him down.
I just needed top blue.
I'm just bottom pool. Bro, he's bottom blue, dude. I thought we had a guy.
One blue, one shot. Nice.
Hey, I'm trying to hold the back hotel.
Remember that setup that I was talking about from them when they started to get pushed, when you guys were starting to push through square? How many of us are watching the same angle? We're all watching this. Still gets through top blue. Still gets through.
I just needed top blue.
I'm just bottom pool.
Look how, again, like
Bro,
We're
he's
all-
bottom blue, dude. I thought we had a guy.
One blue, one shot. Nice.
Hey, I'm trying to hold the back hotel.
and because of this, because we've got ARs, again, this is an AR, this is an AR, we didn't have anybody watching for a potential push through here. We've got nobody who's gonna be able to respond to this until it's in our face. This is gonna be a break.
I need someone to hold
If
water
one
in
of,
a
if they
second.
get one
I'm
kill,
watching the kiddo. I'm
The break.
He's in the back, bro. He ran bottom pool on you, dude. So we didn't know he spawns now.
Hey, one's in new.
Yep.
yep.
I think one's
P
fighting new.
back. P2.
Bottom blue square, dude.
You're outside of P2, guys. One bottom bar as well.
Close just by the entrance.
Close
Nice.
is,
Top bar. Watch your top bar.
Go
To the
down.
front of the hill. Front of the hill. He's gonna tell you out.
Come on there, bottom bar. Fish no.
I got killed at the cross. He was
Like, if we're gonna give up old time on P1,
I got one crossing into hill.
gotta have everyone set up. If our guy top bar is watching
That's
here,
down.
need people that are sitting here watching this. Nobody would. I mean, again, if we're gonna get, here's the thing: if we're gonna give up P1 time, we need to get our AR here to set up like this. Need somebody to be sitting on the backside of bar to make sure we're locking spawns, and then we need SMGs that could be playing either in the hill or for another SMG that's here. But we just were not set up for any of that exit at all.
I need back bar.
Go down.
Another one river. One
One
water.
hill.
Gotta contest this time.
Front hill.
Game.
Front of hill. Front of hill.
Maybe we get one more good flood off. Again, just watch. We're all flooding one direction.
Top bar.
I
Nice.
got killed. He
The
ran
thing
away.
about it is, like, the way you guys are playing is gonna work versus
there.
your first two opponents, but gotta clean some shit up, brothers. Throw and push forward, honkies. Got to stop my recording.
Die.
I gotta pee.
Runner, 2 ARs watching the same thing. ARs need to QB the SMGs off of spawns. That's my notes on that. And the same was like in all capital letters. I always write in all capital letters. It was like in maximum capital letters.
Watching your open. I stun one open. I stun
Got
one
one
open.
over.
Yeah, he's got. I'm going top. I'm dumping up top.
Back.
It starts right at the beginning. Watch our wonderful rollout.
Watching your open. I stun one open.
We are watching the same thing.
I stun
Got
one
one
open.
over.
Yeah, he's got. I'm going top. I'm dumping up top.
Back three.
Look at us. We're watching the same shit.
Back raise, back raise.
Hey, he's close. Close.
I got
Close.
killed.
Dead, back here, dead, back here, dead.
That was him, that was him.
Keep going. Go quick. Go quick. Just spawn
I
down.
put it down.
I spawned.
Two dead.
That's this time.
Oh my god, there's another one middle tracks. From P2. From P2. Hey, I cleared.
Again, trauma, props, brother. Play your life. You know it. You do it. Very well done. Paralysis spawns up by Cole. Number 6 needs to be coming with him, though. Andrew, you should be coming this way. You know you got an AR over here. So essentially what we can get is an AR set up this way, an AR set up this way, SMG trying to help watch, SMG trying to help watch. And at this point, when we know that all 5 of them are going to be up, we just play defensively until they run towards us while we essentially soak hill time. And then once we start winning these gunfights because we're holding favorable angles, like, we're not going to, here's the deal. Simply put, paralysis, if you go 50 feet further that way, you're going to do nothing to the spawns. Your best bet as a squad is to get set up to watch them feel like they have to come contest the hard point. Then once you get kills, then we push through. And then, again, the smart thing would be if these 2 guys win the fight, what are we doing for Megatron? What do you do? Do you sit and soak hill time? Or do you push through bathrooms to make sure the spawns flip? The problem with if Crooked ends up coming this way is, let's say Paralysis wins a gunfight and these 2 win a gunfight. Now our map positioning is this. And they say, okay, cool, nice job with the kills. We'll still spawn here. Let's see what he does. And he goes through the middle of the map. You gotta come through Cole here. You guys do a decent job of saying, you know, I got hill, you go. But I think we could do a better job of holding this, holding this,
I'm gonna jump out this hill.
holding this. And then once we get kills, then we push through.
Hit left, hit left, hit left.
Look how much we're coming through the middle of the map.
I stunned front bath, dude. Oh, I got
Yeah, you're good. Once there.
We're never pushing through this way, so we're never going to get water tower spawns because of it.
Don't just step there and watch them spawn up. Like, push through so they spawn out.
Stop AC on me. I tried. Stop AC kill.
And again, like, I really hope that this is just an off night for you guys, but like, one person pushing through while we're soaking hill time is not going to affect the spawns. You guys know that, right? Like, your 2 spawns for this hill are right here and right here. Maybe if you're starting to push this way, then again, they're going to just spawn right here. So it's one of those things that if we're getting kills and we're trying to push through, whoever is on the hill has to leave it. So that way they spawn back here. But every time that we go like this, instead of like this, that is less time that they have allowed to spawn here. So even again, let's say that Paralysis again, let's just hypothetically say he gets 1, he gets 2. He's in a good spot. He's the only person up here. But Homeboy, who just spawned here, is making this rotation. And then once he gets there, the guy in hill is going. The only place that they could spawn is here. Not gonna spawn back here.
Killed me.
He's back bath watching cross.
Water tower, 3 bullets in his head and then window.
Window
Jump
weak.
with you.
So we lose a little bit of coordination as far as what we're doing right there.
Back hole. He's by back hole. By the train track. Alright, we gotta hit through the right here.
Front hill dead, front hill dead.
I can't go, Nico.
Right dead.
The other one dead. That's 4. That's 5.
Wins.
Yeah,
No,
all
jump
the way
you in hill.
And again, this is a mistake. I was losing my mind when I saw this. It's literally 5 dead. Why are all of us pushing to the hill? Where do you think they're spawning? It's 5 dead and we just pinched. The only place they could spawn is here. So, for Trauma, instead of getting this kill, which is the most recent, I'm the last player left alive. You gotta be coming out here to watch this. And Megatron, you definitely shouldn't be coming back here. You should be coming up here. We should be playing for the fact that we just successfully came from a pinch. There's no way they're going to spawn here because we're all grouped up. We literally got our kills from the bottom side of the minimap. Only one place they could be coming from. We should know better than that.
I'm going top.
So now we're giving them 50-50s.
I got 2.
You have anything on the left? I'm on the left.
So deep back, deep back.
I got
Water
another
tower.
one.
Going
That's
side
3.
door. He's going side door. Right side
I got
door.
killed from behind.
Aye.
Front. He's front, contesting from front. Ready.
And again, the reason why you got killed from behind was because you allowed him to do this. Gotta set up a defense that's not so fucking passive. Gotta zone the map, brothers. You win. It's a 5-man feed. Zone the map. This is your wall. Not this.
I got 2.
You have anything on the left? I'm on the left.
So deep back, deep back.
And again,
Water
there's
tower.
4 of us in the hill.
Side door. Right side
I got
door.
killed from behind.
Front
He
hill,
got
front hill.
front. He's front, contesting from front door.
This is where we say they're everywhere.
Lead is still front, dude. One shot. I got you.
Oh, bro, they are everywhere, brother.
Yeah, they're everywhere because we literally let them rotate down through here for free. They're probably sitting here thinking it's freaking the 7th day of Hanukkah.
Yeah, I was trying to think. We had no one left.
Are there 7 days in Hanukkah? I don't even know.
Trophy down and I'm going deep forest.
We're good. Just
I dropped the trophy down in hill. I'm going deep forest now. Or watching forest push.
Watch your bathroom. Alright, bathroom.
When boiler toast. He's just playing his life.
Yeah, if we lose hill time this early on, we've got to. Got to. Again, why are we watching Deep Forest right now? They just broke the hill. They're not going to be forest already. If paralysis, you make... And again, this is where double ARs hurt us, because Red Chase has got an AR. So ideally, you're setting up like this, you're setting up like this. I get it. But if number 9 is not running an AR, he can get here first, and now we can contest the pivotal area of P3, which is boiler. If we don't do that, Crooked has to come deal with it. I don't know where you're going right now, Megatron, but you're deciding you want to maybe go try to play for exits or something. I don't know. But you should be also cutting back through. We need to make sure we control boiler. Let them have this rotation. Who fucking cares? We're already here. And then once we get boiler control, then somebody could come back, take the hill. You can move out. Watch your defensive flank through woods.
Watch your bathroom. Alright, bathroom.
When boiler toast. He's just playing his
Gotta
life.
deal with this. Gotta deal with this guy boiler.
Half wall. Dead. Another one half wall. Jesus.
I got him if he
Christ.
jumps
He's
up.
dead, he's
Nice.
dead, he's dead half
All right, we dealt with it.
Think
Good
there's
tackle.
I spawned
mid advance.
lockers. They're still hitting the back.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I just got hit.
Four-
once.
They're still hitting the back.
Force that,
True. I guess Crooked wants to play a passive angle, but again, I would rather have seen him move up into the backside here so you could potentially pinch this. Because again, Chase is watching this. You're watching this. The people coming off of spawn are going to be watching this. Change up the angles, guys.
They're fighting for forest, Andrew. Another one there, Jamie. Locker.
Right.
Here,
8 on the lead. He's heading to the back doggy door, looks like. Front P5.
He's dead. He's dead.
Good play, Megatron.
Locker dead. No one locker, Nate.
We done.
One more behind me. Damn, I couldn't get over.
Do we have trophy in hill?
We should.
I got
Shanko
one
one
here.
shot, bro. Shanko one shot front.
One crossed.
2 there.
No,
Andrew.
front.
Oh, chance we just let him full 5-man flood through Cole. This flank is great.
Dead. No one locker, Nate.
Got him. One more behind me. Damn, I couldn't get over.
Do we have trophy in hill?
We should.
Nothing's coming this way, dude. Never. Nothing is ever going to come this way. Nothing is ever... If you're watching for an initial OE hit and it doesn't come, being here and watching this isn't going to be any more successful. You gotta turn and immediately watch this way. Even wiser if you can put yourself in green, so maybe you can find a way to flank again. We gotta keep setting ourselves up for flank, but because you're running a long AR, the problem with this is the time of which you're putting yourself in this position right now, paralysis. 30 seconds left. There isn't a single person in the world that's making this rotation for P5.
Shanko one shot, bro. Shanko one shot front.
One crossed.
2 there.
No,
Andrew.
front.
Water ramp.
Are
One
you-
shot. 3 bullets in him. Nice. That's him. One cross.
One more in hill. Only one in
Trying
hill.
to get him out of that. Yeah, trying to
I
get him.
think there's only one. I killed two.
Now there's 15 seconds left. This is when you should be starting to push this. We're giving up this time. There's nothing you're going to do. Once they're crossed through, at 15 seconds left on the clock, there is nothing you're going to do from right here. We need our SMGs to break this open, but you have to be the ones to get top containers to watch this. I just don't know why you were ever watching either of those two containers.
I'm pushing up. Watching bathrooms. Oh my god.
And you're still not first in the rotation. Chase is ahead of you. And the double ARs are they're just not working.
Pushing up green.
We're gonna lose this rotation, guaranteed.
Half wall, one shot. He probably went bottom green or something. Half wall went bottom green or nude alley, dude.
No, it was sweet.
And paralysis, you just gotta move, bud. You gotta move. Slow AR does not mean you sit there and wait for someone to push into you. You gotta take some ground away.
I'm hitting outer.
And again, now we've got both of our ARs. Again, we're both just watching this. And now we're watching a teammate come through middle, and we're watching our teammates take the hill. What are we doing back here?
I'm hitting each workload.
Another one fork, bro. Another one fork. Oh, top right. Nice. Top in that hill.
One more. Back. Two back.
Where are you going?
Two back. Three back. One up top and two bottom.
I'm on top. I'm on top. I'm trying to help
Top
you.
crate, top open crate, dude. Top open
Open,
crate.
open kill me. Open kill me.
D3, one shot.
Open kill me, Nate.
You went boiler.
So scared, man.
Boiler.
Their one AR is getting more interactions than either of our ARs.
Found out.
Hole.
Respawned out, dude. Yeah, hit to left side. Don't go right. Don't go right. Hit the left side. Go here.
Gotta get this.
Yeah, I don't-
One shot ult. Two
even if
ult.
it takes you a minute to come back over here, bro, just come back.
Nice, it's already
Keep
three.
going. Keep going through forest, dude. Side green, I think.
Back green. He's back green.
Water ramp dead. You.
You
What's
dead.
our game plan?
Keep come through forest.
Scrap.
Come through forest.
Side
We
green,
had
side-
9 seconds of time. Got 3 people on this hill. Paralysis's job right now is just to stay alive. You're not going to be able to do anything. Again, we want one of our ARs to be out here.
Keep going through forest, dude. Side green,
it
I
is
think.
so hard to make 2 ARs work.
Water ramp dead. You.
You dead.
We had 2
Come through
people.
forest, come through forest.
Side green. Side
Hold
green.
on, we got to
Keep
watch
going
this.
through forest, dude. Side green, I think.
Back green. He's back green.
Water ramp dead. You.
You dead.
There's 2 seconds of hill time.
Come through forest. Come through forest.
Side green. Side green. One shot.
Now, okay.
Back green dead, bro. One dead.
That's a big kill. We should know of one of 2 things that's about to happen here with that kill that's happening. With us pushing through this direction. Double AR. I was about to say, someone should be trying to cut through this way for a late pinch. Thinking that they're going to be spawning right here, which I imagine if I were a betting man, I would bet that they're going to spawn right here. Depending on the timing of this skill.
Going the cross.
Low and green, watch cross.
Do we have?
Let's go. Shift wins. Oh, they spawned here. But regardless, this is the area that we want to be taking away from them. If we're getting a push through this direction, what is going to help by sending 2 more that same direction? It again just gives it so one-dimensional. We know exactly off of where we need to be looking. They could be literally anywhere in hill. This guy off spawn could just watch the cross. But if we were to have sent one of our homies through here, or to go through mid, then this guy that's coming this way is cut off from the rest of his teammates. But instead, all of us have bailed from middle. We're all gonna go this way. I can't remember the last time I ever saw you guys play like this.
Let's hit it together. They're all on
I
cross,
just-
all on cross, dude. Cross, sweet.
Yeah, I got one.
Up top,
Back
top.
dude, back forward, back forward.
Great.
One
Bro.
shot in hill behind. box.
Holy
get wiped.
fuck, dude.
Get wiped because we're coming from one direction.
Side green weak.
One boxes.
Boxes, Nate.
Do we really? Hold on.
He's like one shot in hill behind. box.
Holy fuck, dude. Staggering weak.
Boxes.
Do we really think someone's sitting back here?
Boxes, Nate.
He's like out 8 on.
Suede, he's 8 on.
There was a moment there for a second. Both of our ARs are watching the same cross. 30 seconds left in the hill. Paralysis is going for a flip. Too early.
8 on, and Suede's in boxes.
8 on, weak as fuck.
In the back, Luke's in the
You're
back.
pulling your
Bathroom,
team
bathroom,
spawns
bathroom,
with
bathroom,
you. I
bathroom.
mean, we literally have 22 seconds of hill time. We had number 7 in trauma spawn here, and because we're continuing to go this way at 22 seconds, we also force a spawn here. Too soon to make that rotation.
They're going force out. They're hitting force out heavy.
He's not bottom back.
And this is this is where we chase Toast for literally
Get toast, Nico.
ever.
Yeah.
Watch top blue crate.
Toast is not, again, like I mentioned when we were trying to make this play happen, where we could just set up defensive spots. He's not going to influence spawns. Let him sit up here. Have somebody sit mid-trains that can be responsible for here and can respond to anything from behind. But we need to make sure we're taking away this space. Can't let them have cargo containers. Surely not.
Top blue crate.
Water tower right now.
Top
Let's
blue
watch
crate, brother.
watch
He's
how this
in-
all goes here. You guys don't end up
Go
finding him.
top AC, Nico.
He's water tower. I
Yeah,
will.
Nate's on top 4, bro. There's
Water
2
tower
fours.
toast. Lane
And
down.
him to the left, dude.
He wins
2 of
mid
them.
tracks.
I'm behind 2
I
right.
got shot at from P2.
Turned around, dude.
Toast is still in the
Yeah.
back, bro. Like, we gotta find
killed
this
in the
kid,
back.
bro.
Mid try.
Now spawns flip.
No.
Top
But
blue crate,
back
brother. Him to
here-
the,
Bottom.
4 side.
Go top AC, Nico.
He's
Look
water
how
tower.
far we let these guys. 3 of them are pushing through here.
Mid tracks.
I'm behind 2
I
right.
got shot at from P2.
By the time we get a kill,
Toast is still in the back, bro. Like, we gotta find
it's
kid,
this
bro.
guy, and he says, "Thanks for killing me."
Mid tracks.
I'll spawn here.
Toast dead, dude.
I think it's pretty downhill from here. I mean, look how individual
He's top
Again,
blue crate.
One more
I'm
there.
not, I'm not
we're playing right now. Hold on.
down, dude.
Toast is still in the back, bro. Like, we gotta find
killed
this
in the
kid,
back.
bro.
Mid tracks.
Oh, God.
One individual. 2 individuals.
Toast dead, dude.
Top
One
three.
rock, one rock.
Play your life, Chase. Play your life, dude. I'll try to lay down, bro.
He's top blue crate.
One more there.
We're taking 1v2s every time. Paralysis is
Yeah, we can't
essentially
do it.
forced to
Yeah,
slow
we
things
can't.
down because he's got a
It's in the
scope
left
on his
hand,
AR, but
Good track. Good win.
no, that's better. See what happens when we
Watch out,
wait
coming
for
in
each
you.
other? We
Weak,
get some
yeah.
team shots. Now
Oh,
we
he
can
fucking
flood.
saw Wait, me. one coming back. One
Red
top,
Chase
two,
should
two,
just be
two,
playing
red
his
Chase.
life, and then unfortunately, track of
Anyway.
toast again, everyone.
One shot now. He'll just one shot right there. You saw him.
Aha.
And while all this is going
One more
on,
to your right, Zach. To your right, Zach.
Apple kills me.
Oh,
this guy on hill doesn't care if he dies. All the rest of his teammates backed up the deal.
Nice. No, Zach, that wasn't him. Shanko's still somewhere.
Still is playing so
I'm gonna
individual.
die. I'm just playing my life, dude. Watching your front. I'm watching your front cross.
Back right of the hill.
Do you guys see the difference?
Shanko's top AC. Shanko's
I got him,
top.
I got
Nice
him.
to see that. Let's go. In your window.
Like, this isn't even setting up pinches. This is just us running from where we're closest to.
Back in the corner dead. No one top window.
AC got me. AC
One
got me.
window. Toast.
How
I'm
did
about to
he
die. I'm about to jump in. He's gonna be tight left.
Front door, front door, front door, front door.
One more low.
Top AC is still, bro. We can an AR. Look at this kid.
Front door again, front door again.
Man,
Front door dead.
oh, great side.
It's one of those
One more
things
left.
like,
Top AC is still, bro.
Toast.
How
I'm about
did
to
he
die.
yeah,
I'm about to jump in. He's gonna be tight left.
Front door, front
both of our ARs are currently right here.
door, front door, front door.
One more low.
Top AC is still, bro. We can an AR. Look at this kid.
Front door again, front door again.
Man,
Front door dead.
oh, great side.
This foot, yeah.
A better flood, though,
Nice.
because again, like,
Front door, front door, front door.
we hit multiple angles. When we hit multiple angles, our individual gun skill will shine because we're keeping them guessing.
I got this time if you wanna go.
But there's like, there are so many moments where you guys are hitting individually that it's just, it's so difficult to,
There's
Like,
two P3 already.
Yeah, that's one in the back.
I just don't remember ever seeing you guys play like this. And I think the play style change, It might be more individually comfortable. I don't know if it's one of those things like I feel like I'm getting more kills if I'm using this or what, but as a squad, you guys are just playing so separated with this. And with double ARs, it limits your abilities, I think, from, again, how fast that someone like Crooked can play. How fast do you want to play Megatron? It's just, this is not helping our SMG line. I mean, Trauma's 29 and 16 for Christ's sake. Meanwhile, Elite's 21 and 16. Both of ARs aren't even even. If Trauma's not 29 and 16, this game's already over.
Went to the bottom of the hill, one shot.
Our SMGs is like, again, like when you see these individual challenge moments, it just shows to me that you guys want to play faster than what your current double AR setup is letting you do. And fuck me in the ass, dude. Red's making this rotation at 20 seconds, and look who's right behind his footsteps. Both of our ARs have given up this angle to go for the earliest rotation we've ever seen to P4 for both ARs.
Cut him off mid-ramp. Probably in you.
One more, dude.
At least our SMGs are cutting middle, and guess what happens? Our SMGs frag.
I'm bottom green. E-forced again.
Boom, stop, pause. Got an AR right here. Red Chase, where are you going? Stop. Stop what you were doing. You were watching this. Not need 2 ARs in this setup. What could you possibly be looking at that's different than what Paralysis is looking at? Our best bet is to have Trauma where he is, green, AR watching outer, SMG soaking time, AR watching middle, and an SMG in mid. That I think is our right now. That's our ideal setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gives us the ability to respond to anything coming through here if we need to. More importantly, where it's likely to be coming from again, because P5 things coming from here, here.
Side green, back green, back green. Up. Side green, one shot. He just
So now, both of our ARs are on top of each other. It's a nice little flank, though, for Megatron. I like the push-up.
He's still there.
You get the kills, go ahead and push through.
Yeah, one's still you, yo. He's still in you.
But nobody followed with him. Get up here. Get 1 AR here, 1 AR here, SMG in the hill. Force them to have to hit you from behind.
Yeah, and half. I got 2.
Paralysis, move. Move, 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 move. Move, move, move. You guys are right on top of each other. Watch this.
He's still in you.
Yeah, and half.
Here comes number 9.
I got 2. Bathroom.
We are literally right on top of each other. Literally watching the same thing, which is nothing. We just got the kills. There's 4 dead. Move.
You dead, you dead.
Still.
They might flip, be careful. Yeah, they flip. Come back. Whoever in oil, come back.
So here's the play call. If we've got an AR that watches this, we've got an AR that's maybe sitting up top, watching this. Push through is successful. SMG's watching. AR is watching middle. Our homeboys spawn right here. Guess what we do? Doesn't that look so good? And beyond that, if we're spawning here, Megatron, you should know, no need for me to be back here anymore. I'm going to go this way. So that way, as soon as this guy gets traded out, which he will, you could go right there.
Come back. I only have 20.
What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
So I said, come
You gotta-
back. Holy shit.
Gotta read that so much faster.
I was running back. No, you're good.
Got 1. There's 1 more front back. Front back.
Get him in hill. That's 4.
Yeah.
Somebody
Somebody running.
One shot,
Yeah.
toes, tight left.
Drama, there's nothing else you can do. You
right,
did
right.
it literally. You made more plays happen than you should have, to be honest with you. It's
Wait,
just, it's, fuck me sideways.
A lot of times in the gun runner, we got 5 down and we still weren't like getting.
Maybe
in there.
maybe we could do 4-1 on that, but not St. Pet, dude. We were getting
No, yeah,
St. Pet in this map, 2 ARs.
Yeah.
I just don't, I don't know. I don't know what you, I don't know.
I go bottom.
You guys are so one-dimensional when you're using 2 ARs.
I'll go-
This is a 3 AR map, by the way, just so you know.
Sniper tower, 1 shot. Sniper
We should be
tower.
saying, we guys want to play slow, we want to hold angles, let's do it on a zero cave. This is probably going to be, if you guys go with this rollout, this is going to be your best map.
I got 1 too.
We're looking for one.
And honestly, I think Megatron, you need to be the other one to pull out an AR.
All 3, Nico. Yeah, you have a cave. Come help Hill.
Shank
1
goes
slow
up.
AR, 2 fast ARs, 2 nutty SMGs.
We can heal.
I don't know. Those are some ballsy challenges, Andrew. I fucking love it.
One shot, one coming. One shot, elite.
This is the, by the way, this opening setup was great. You guys did a very good job here.
I'm going top,
Come on,
bro.
white trap. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna
They're
hit
not
one.
hitting your bag.
Do I not have any notes for this? Oh, yeah, I said Crooked is nuts.
Yeah, he's still there.
Nico, you're playing 2 passive on early rotations.
We're good. We're good, dude. That was a good.
Ah, yes.
Come on, white.
Crooked just gets a couple of kills. We're set up right here. Why the fuck do you think you need to be in Broken? If anything, you should cut from sandbags and just hold this godheady. And number 8, who's Megatron, could just play from Cobble. Got 35 seconds of first hill. Why are you going all the way back here?
Bottom blue, elite. He's pretty mid, top yellow. One shot.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be toxic. Let's put a stopwatch of how much time you kill right here. How much time?
Anything I'm smoked out and hill.
Do you spawn? Alright. Timer has started.
Bottom blue,
Until you find your next engagement. Let's find out.
One shot, one coming. One shot, elite. One shot, elite. Nice kill.
We are literally offering to leave Crooked on this hill by himself right now.
He's trying to get this bar. They have a trophy down. Yeah, he's still there. There's 2 in hill. Chego's dead, dude. We're good. We're good.
You just watch a teammate spawn up.
Hey, top yellow. Back yellow.
Rotate. There's 12 seconds.
Yellow dead, bro.
Slide
Back
over
towers though. One step back by the tower.
And again, there's no need to rotate right now. You guys are set up in good spots. Chase can be the one to jump into hill.
Okay, I got hill.
They're not spawning bridge. I'm back broken.
No, they're not going to spawn bridge because you got a homie in garage right now.
Bottom yellow, right here. P1 in yellow. P1 in yellow. One's cobble, Nate. Cobble, Nate.
They smoked it.
Yeah,
I can't see
yeah,
it.
they're trying to blow you.
I got it. If they,
I just stunned you,
I
Jamie.
got it.
In my front hill hard. Hey, I naded that front, Jamie.
Oh, that's just unfortunate for you, Megatron. You had the timing was just a bit late.
I have all this.
Shago's big beat on.
Just go support hill. I have all this. I can tell you if they cross.
They just smoked it. They're gonna be right. They're gonna be right heavy. Two hitting your hill. Three. One more. There's one more. I got one up top. There's another one down.
Nice.
I'm going.
I'm dead. He's underpass. One underpass. Another one to the white crate.
He pushed out bridge.
She's on the
Why did he
rock.
push it? He's holding bridge.
So, Nico, tell me, how was that minute and 25 seconds worth of doing nothing? Let's just point out all the things you could be doing when you get back there.
He's pretty mid, top yellow. One shot, one coming. One shot,
Let's say that you go here. You're worried about this flank, you go here. Okay? Let's pretend.
Nice kill.
You've got a teammate who just spawned right here. You should know that that means that nobody is coming this direction. Your teammate who spawns here would love to go this way. And he could do that if you are reading this from here saying, okay, I can go top garage. I could go top cobble. I could go into a lot of different spots to help the still 27 seconds worth of hill time.
I'm going top bro.
Instead, 8 has to go this way. 9 is rotating around. None of us went. I don't understand why any of us didn't come up here. We need to be up in lights right now. Concrete at worst. Top lights.
Shaco's dead, dude.
We're good, dude. That was a good first hill. We're fine.
Case, if
Hey,
you're
top yellow,
with
top
the
yellow,
AR,
top
get
yellow.
legit.
It could be a better first hill.
Yellow dead, bro.
Now we've got essentially what could be our AR player who doesn't need to worry about this right now anymore. He can be watching this while his teammates are sitting in yellow, contesting the last 10 seconds, or falling back to help the hill. That way someone can stay concrete. One player can go to the hill. No one's gonna spawn behind you. Not if they're on the hill, there's no world that they spawn back here.
Slide
Back
over
tower
to-
still. One still back by the tower.
One shot in hill, there's
Slide
two
over
in
to
hill,
you.
there's
I'm
two
worried
in
about
hill.
my
Okay,
case.
yeah, that's where he is. That was the tower.
Elite's in hill.
The front cave. I'm pushed up front cave.
Okay, I got hill.
They're not spawning bridge. I'm
And imagine a world where we've got one guy watching, one guy watching, one guy watching, one guy watching on the hill. I think that's too aggressive. I think generally the way you get away with that is here, 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 and maybe a guy back there. At worst. At best, you draw a line right here. That's your line. Give them the cave cut. We have a guy sitting watching yellow. He could even be back here. Garage. Here. Here. That way you can either come back and rotate. The thing that we want to try to do is if we do this, it forces them with an anchor. It forces them to hit from one direction, which is from here. And the guy that's on the hill is sitting here who's currently watching this could be sitting here watching this. Gives us so much more information.
Beacon hill. We call it. Yo, one broken one shot.
So essentially what's going to happen is they're going to win these gunfights and they're just going to hit this double. Because again, if they're spawning back in the cave system, they're not going to make this pinch. That doesn't make any sense. What makes sense is to smoke this and double hit, flood. And then maybe if someone spawns here in front of yellow, after this push is happening, then that guy goes for a second pinch. But this is the flood first.
they smoked it.
They know that you guys are set up in some fashion around at least this area. Doing this makes no sense if they're spawning here, which they're going to because the hard point was still open.
I can't see
Yeah,
it.
they're
They
coming
below
below
you.
you.
I got it. If they,
I
if they
just stunned you,
fight, I
Jamie.
got it.
What the?
In my front hill hard.
Hey, I naded that front, Jamie.
He's in the tunnel, dude. Far right. Don't go sandbags. Don't go sandbags.
Bro.
I have all this.
Shaco's big beat on.
Just
Shaco's
go
big beat on.
support hill. I have all
Yeah.
this. I can tell you if they cross.
And again, we just got a full wipe. You need to be up here. You need to be pushing. There's 31 seconds left. You need to be here. Or sandbags. Or somewhere. We need someone to get forward. That way we know exactly how they're hitting. Sitting back here does nothing for us. They're not going to spawn here. They're going to spawn yellow or they're going to spawn cave. More than likely, they're going to spawn cave. If you go back and watch minimaps of any other gameplay that's ever happened, very rarely, unless someone's making this play, will they be spawning here. If they start making moves through white truck, then maybe they spawn here. But 90% of hills, after the first hit is unsuccessful, they're going to spawn in the cave system.
They just smoked it. They just smoked it.
They're
They're
gonna be
gonna
right. They're gonna be right heavy.
If I'm
Two
making
hitting
moves,
your hill. Three. One more. There's one more.
I got one up top. There's another one down.
One shot.
I
Nice.
am
nice.
going to the back.
So paralysis, you essentially just made your team fight 4v5 in that entire hill,
She's on the
and then you die,
Holding bridge.
Close right,
going
close
for
right.
an early rotation, and now they're set up exactly how they want to be, which is in spawn trap fashion.
Like, on this gun.
Wait, one sandbag.
They get a
sandbag,
full six.
sandbag.
They get a full
Bravo
60
three,
off
three,
this
stand
next
by,
hill.
teammate.
He pushed back. He pushed back.
He's
Yeah.
yellow, dude. Like, yellow card.
He hit me in hill.
Who just speak underpass?
And we have no idea how we're exiting from this.
Stop yellow, dude.
Not yellow. Oh, damn.
We just individually
I'm done,
challenged
Jamie. Who just speak
everything.
underpass?
Red Shades by himself takes an individual challenge. You should have that information because he just killed 2 of your teammates.
I'm jumping out.
Paralysis just dies. Individual challenge.
Top broken. Top
Top
yellow.
yellow as well.
Who just underpass dead? Yeah, I'm gonna challenge top yellow.
Good kills, Mega.
Nico, where are you going?
Now. No information on what's over here. our safest play, at least a couple. Hobble, Raj, best play available to.
I'm gonna watch.
I just got stunned mid. Cobble, dude, one shot. You're looking for
Cobble's
Nate.
dead.
Mid. Hitting him
And
mid.
look!
Hitting him mid alley, bro.
Yeah, he needed me. He needed
Watch
me.
him flank. Watch him flank.
You do just that.
Two mid on me. I won one.
Another one shot.
Bottom
Where's the other
mid.
one?
Bottom mid. Bottom mid. He one bullet me. Holy shit. Underneath the bridge. Underneath the bridge.
Yeah, I got him.
I'm rotating. Hill. Two. They keep stacking. That's crazy.
So here's the deal. If we're like, so we just spent 2 hills saying I'm rotating at 30 seconds, and now we're at 20 seconds, and I'm already heard in call saying I'm rotating. We gotta, if you're gonna rotate early and get broke on that rotation, I think you gotta hit scrap. Especially, which again, I'm not hearing our spawn calls. If we're saying we're spawning cave, for 9 needs to still hit because the guys that are cave are gonna get here.
Just keep losing our 1-on-1s.
Whoever just spawned back P2, hold that for a second. Drop back. Drop back.
One's on me, Nate. One's on me,
One
Nate.
got the
Doggy. One's doggy.
I got him. I
One's
got
doggy
him.
table.
Truck
Doggy
me.
table.
All right, you can give it up now. They're not spawning back there. They're not pushing that.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, one's pushing
Okay.
it. One's pushing it. Chase, turn right. Turn right.
can't
Turn right. Turn right.
I got
Chase.
killed.
Watch
Cave.
your back.
They're all
Wow.
spawning cave.
Yeah, I know they were. That's why I was trying to call it out.
Decent
Yeah.
awareness overall. I think the biggest thing when it comes to that play is once Crooked finds these kills, he's on 3 straight. Once he gets kills in the back, to know that like the player sitting here just needs to watch and still hold this. It feels like we're trying to zone this far out. Like there's no world where you hold this line for P4. They will spawn behind. Best scenario is you're holding this line from the henhouse side. Or if you're going for the cave spawns, which is a rotational spawn, not a hill spawn, your hill spawn is P4. That way you can get pinches. If you only spawn here, that's the spawn that you want at the very beginning of a hill, which currently looks like we're going for in a way. The only play we have is to do this. The only play we have. You're not going to do this play. You could. But while the hill is active, it's going to then force you to spawn here. And by the time that you get another wipe, will not get possession of the rotation spawns, which are here. So you want these hill spawns first. Fucking let them come cave. On color. You know what I mean? Let them come cave. We're going to wipe out this hill because we just pinched it. This guy needs to sit here and watch this cross. This guy needs to sit here and watch yellow. Then we've got that kind of a setup. That's brilliant. Because then once we get kills, let's say that he only gets 1. We're then fighting on this. Someone's got dead silence. They pinch. Once we get that wipe, it'll be about 30 seconds. And then people start to move forward in the hill. And now we've got rotational spawns. And we're trying to essentially force them to go here. What's going to happen is Paralysis is going to sit here for forever. Then he's going to make this long rotation around the back. Which again forces us to be fighting 4v5 forever. Instead of helping here. As soon as these kills happen, you push on forward this way. You want them to eventually spawn in the back. So that way we control these spawns. Making this play happen will not turn into anything besides guaranteeing that they're going to spawn right here, which will essentially guarantee that on the back, you're going to get a 1v2 at least. See how it plays out.
Chase, turn right. Turn right. Turn right.
Let it play out.
They're spawning cave.
Yeah, I know they were. That's why I was trying to call it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn
Got
around.
one table.
Pick up doggy. Pick up doggy. Pick up doggy. I have time. I have time.
One more.
I got table. I got table. I got table.
Got two.
You got table. Alright, I'm watching your six. And
Snake
later.
back to you, bro. I got table. One table, toast weak. Table, toast weak. No one here.
I naded
Thank you.
him.
Table,
Close,
toast off.
close, push to left. Side.
Holy cow, bro.
Yes, dash. Close left dash. Close left dash.
Single dead.
Table, bro.
Hitting your right. He hit your
Four
right, dude.
bullets in him, Chase. Yeah, I got killed right.
Alright, one shot.
Hey, stay alive left. If you're in hill,
I got double naded. I got double naded. Next one top hill.
Nate's dead in hill.
Give me behind box.
Push with this.
I'm one shot, dude. I'm just playing my life in this hill real quick.
One's
Hey,
undercover,
hit
one's
me.
yellow,
Hit
one's
me.
yellow, one's yellow.
Back P2, back P2.
Yeah,
One might be center block. I don't even want to challenge
How do I
fucking
lose
use it.
that?
Yeah, I think he's got the
Back center block toast.
Yeah, we essentially
I got a
cemented our
mid-range
fate.
shit. We got naded. We just need to wait to smoke it.
Never,
don't
we
get- yeah, I got-
never locked this down first, and then we
Some of
never
Eddie's
followed
are
up with a
void.
pinch.
Mm,
Never
on
a
bridge.
world where we were.
Stop,
He's
stop
not there
broken, top
anymore.
broken, top broken, top broken, weak.
Give me a second, I'm coming.
Top broken, weak. I need help. Fuck, dude.
Top-
Yo, hit
top-
that Andrew.
top
Pinch it.
sandbags.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Get sandbags.
You kill me outside hill, Nate.
I'm going front with snow.
Ten back dead,
Still
10 back
top
dead,
broken.
10 back dead. I'm hitting through the back.
Still top broken.
Toast just got his shit fried in.
Can't see.
So Crooked finds 2 massive kills at sandbag. We have got to get up here. Either free up somebody else. I mean, again, we want to be hitting this backside. This early, I mean, it's not early on anymore. But if he finds kills in the back like this, you have to make sure the timing is watching for everyone that comes off spawn is gonna be
Top broken.
No, you have to push up a little bit.
Top
here.
broken, weak, and one stand back.
they do. Watching.
Weak.
Top
Top broken,
broken,
one shot, top broken, one shot, top broken, one shot.
Stay alive, just lay down.
I'm getting shot at from in front of hill.
Hey, one more, yeah, one more.
Top broken, top
Top
broken.
broken's dead, top broken's dead.
Nice.
I'm
They're all
just
flying
dead.
sandbags. All back at 3 sandbags. That's why I'm mid. I'll show you we're OE.
He's in contest spot. Nice. Oh, fuck.
3 and broken,
Hit.
dude.
I'm
dead.
dead. I am.
Bottom,
Good
bottom,
break.
Top.
But we're just moving too freaking slow.
They're all fucking there.
And evident. Literally got almost double the.
I'm watching
More than.
an undercut. There's 2 on the heady. I got one.
2 sandbags. They're pushing Cape Cut hard, Cape Cut hard.
Dude,
What
top combo, bro.
Undercut?
I mean, like, the simple fact of the matter is, like, our SMG cannot be doing. If he's doing this and we're doing still, if we're not up by 50, this very, very,
Isn't down
No,
your fucking
top
host.
cobble.
bro.
very, very wrong.
One thing cave there.
Top cobble's
Top
dead.
cobble, can't see top cobble.
Top yellow dead. One more top yellow. One more top yellow. I killed 2.
Top cobble.
Nice.
Help you, Hill.
got
So
help.
good.
Nice.
Top yellow.
Dead time.
I can.
Top yellow dead. I had to put my life in hill, bro. I can get naded and die.
Another one in hill. Another one died in yellow, dude.
I'm gonna die. I'm dead.
I'm more
I got one sandbag. I got
Three of us were just watching the same thing, literally a second ago.
Another one in hill. Another one died in yellow, dude.
I'm gonna die. I'm dead.
I'm more.
You guys are literally watching the same thing. There, push something.
I got one sandbag. I'm watching cut.
Oh,
Dude, cobble. Shank it with cobble.
Oh, I choked that.
it's a good push through for Megatron.
You're good.
Paralysis, you need to be up there with him. Now we're starting to
We
move.
can hold that. On the right.
Fun finds one. Fights two.
One more in the back on me.
Paralysis is helping the
Have your
exact same angle. And you guys do win the gunfight, but again, because everybody just went this way, we had no. Watch this. Onto this that way. And it left a big gap. Cut from. You guys win the spawns, but now Crooked is by himself
P2 in cave. He's close.
because we both took long angles.
One more.
It looks and feels like there's not a lot of individual trust coming in.
Mommy blue.
Close, dad.
He's going bridge. He's going bridge. He's going bridge. He's going bridge P5. You gotta kill him.
At least you guys recorrect, and this is a decent zone again. And again, paralysis. The fact that you're not back here is already helping your team light years. You found one kill. You stay cool. Let me go watch this a little bit closer up. You could be there for the trade if you need to.
Somebody get the time.
Trauma, this flank is absolutely fucking perfect.
Who's that in hill?
Unfortunately, you went a little bit too soon. Probably to be a little bit corrective here. Again, take a look at what's dead. 1, 2, 3. They're not off respawn yet. Stay here a little bit longer. As soon as you start hearing gunshots come through, because again, you just wiped their first hit. You've got to know that your teammates are pushed and ready to defend against this early. Wait until the gunfights start to happen and then push behind that. That's the way that you deal with this second hit, exactly the timing that you want.
Go. You're good. I got it.
A little bit too soon.
One more coming, guys.
And again, paralysis, did you just fucking rotate from sandbags around the back?
He's going bridge. He's going bridge P5. You gotta kill him.
Oh, wait, we already watched that. Get that kill from behind.
Who's that in hell?
One more coming.
Yeah, what are you going to reinforce here? You've got a teammate pushed up. He's already watching. You need to be backing up and go sandbags. We should know at this point that if they're not finding success on this push, there's only one of two places they could be coming from, either here or here. And you decide to go here.
One more coming, guys.
Yeah, one more front.
And Crooked does the same thing. The only player that ends up moving a little bit further forward is Trauma. He gets a stun, but he doesn't get there in time. Imagine if that timing was done by one of the two people previously. Toast doesn't find 2 kills.
Hey, he's behind the cobblestone.
And if Toast gets killed, again, just hypothetically, if Toast dies here, then all of a sudden someone can either push through this way, and now you're set up to either clear yellow or help this pinch, or you can go over here and go cobble. But because 2 of us went that way, we had to respond to him. 1 player died. The second eventually gets the trade. The time has ticked off the clock. That's 15 seconds that's gone by. And they now have control here rather than us having control. All differences, but they pay massive dividends against decent squads. I don't know who this team is, but they're playing relatively darn close to as well as you want to see them play.
Sandbags Toast. Yeah, he's gonna come there too.
Did he jump back down away?
Yeah, he jumped back down. He's going white.
He's gonna be here.
Mid. Shanko's holding mid with an M4. He's in the little hiding corner.
One's in blue. Kill me, Elite.
Elite dead.
Hey, outer blue, outer yellow. Yeah. Top cobble, he's top cobble.
15 seconds are
He's right
gone.
top cobble in the cut. I
Still
just
haven't
waited, he's gonna
cleared
run.
the middle of the map. Not even coming close to it.
Front P1.
We just gave him 30
it's
seconds
close.
for free.
Versus P1.
Shanko's dead.
Hey, yo,
Go ahead,
blue.
One's tower.
P1,
Toast
he
is
went
still
P1.
finding kills at yellow. Oh my god, dude.
That's 3, bro. Flood that kid.
Dude, you're...
Watch on hill. Watch on hill.
Yeah.
You almost want to back you on you.
Wait, you're a moron. Tower, bro.
One more tower. Top tower.
Alright, get that hell.
One in the back, dude.
Decent scrap break.
One in the back. 100%.
Again, consider that like, they played that very, very well where they were set up. The fact that you guys got that scrap time is still a success, but we've got to do a better job of clearing out the middle of the map.
Top.
I'm heading to cave,
Not
dude. I
dead.
can't hit the
He's
flank.
one shot. He's on that half wall. One shot.
Yeah.
Like one shot, Nate. This kid does not die.
There's no world that you expect that Toast is going to be here.
They're in the back. Toast is P2. Get the time. We have to get
Yeah.
the time. Because they're in the back.
Alright, kill
Oh,
me,
you my
boys.
doggy, bro. My doggy.
Kids P2. We got this thing. Let's get out.
Wait,
One
mine
shot
fell.
toast table. One shot toast.
Not much you can really say about this. Again, like the setup is relatively deep. Got this going. We didn't track down this last guy, which is the problem here. Did a nice job of dealing with it. We're spawning out here. Paralysis decides he wants.
Kids P2. We got this thing. Let's get out.
Again, paralysis. You're making this play happen. I just don't care for it.
Wait,
One
mine
shot
fell.
toast table. One shot toast
It's
table.
30.
Snake,
There are.
snake, snake,
You
snake,
are.
snake.
Wait. Tell me you did this when there was 40 seconds still on the clock. There is 40 seconds still, and you're already going for a long rotation. Cut the mid map, dude. Cut this. You've got teammates that are already in cave. You left, and you see how far forward they are through the wall. You've got to cut mid map. You've got to get yellow. If we can make this happen, find a kill maybe on this rotation, and we clean this up, then we turn this spawn to this spawn because we're cutting the middle of the map with angles.
Kids P2. We got this thing. Let's get out.
Wait, mine fell.
Now we're still spawning back here.
Snake, 2 tables.
Alright,
2
bro.
snakes.
Just go to the right.
This is
Just
4v.
go to the
We're
right.
playing 4v5.
I'm already here.
I need help in new.
There's no way we re-break
Snake's
this.
one shot on the head. You gotta kill the table.
We're not gonna win that. We gotta just rotate.
That's one
There's
out.
still 3 there. There's 3
I'm at
there.
here. I'm at here.
Shanko's dead there. Bottom blue, dude. He just crossed bottom blue.
Table killed me. Elite.
I spawned new.
We'll take the hitting cave. We'll take the 3 for hitting
we
cave.
done.
I found cave.
You're looking for bottom blue. You're looking for bottom blue guy.
We just gave up so much time, dude. We literally gave up like 30 seconds worth of time there
Top yellow, dude.
in favor of spawns.
Yellow right now, guys.
That again, like we got the favorable spawns, but we're not zoning. Like as soon as your teammates are starting to spawn on you here, get the fuck out of here. Let someone off respawn get there. Get forward, zone the map. Spot from Megatron is actually not bad because he's sitting by himself. Someone can help him sandbags. Maybe one player sitting in the back, whether it's bottom or top, but we got to get someone to zone this part of the map. Go for this early flank, this rotation on the OE. Got to take map positioning away from these guys, but now all of a sudden they're in a position to hit this from multiple angles because we're not zoning any part of the map away.
Top yellow, dude. Hey, Zach, I might have nade over you, okay?
Hey, break this?
Top yellow, one's still top yellow.
Yellow.
Does Megatron just get the flank timing perfect?
Moron.
No, they flip spawns already.
Once again, stand back.
Alright, they're cave.
No, they spawn in the back.
Again, we're just
Nade
not.
top 10 back weak. He naded you in a hole.
Yeah, there's 4 there, bro.
Hey, it's gonna at least go to P1, like 45.
Get in chase, get in chase.
45 for the map.
We just lost 15 seconds worth of hill time. No one soaked it.
I got you,
He's
chase.
flying down. He's right behind that guy.
Yeah, he's toast. I thought.
Make it 20 seconds.
Nice.
Hit that time. I'm going left side.
Can I get some fucking rag, dude? Top time bag. Elite, 2 there, 2 top time bags.
Now, as we exit away from this, there's 10 seconds left. Again, we're in good spots.
One more cave cut.
That was the right spot, right outside Cobble. We're watching Cave Cut.
Top yellow.
Two yellow.
Did we win this map or did we lose this map?
Three back
One
yellow.
yellow.
Did they break you guys
Hey,
here?
pick up the cut. I have a cape.
Oh no. Never, ever, ever leave yellow. This is a 2-man job. That's our setup.
Yeah, I have it.
Oh my god, it wouldn't let me shoot. I got you.
Fortunately, we get a couple of kills and we do end up zoning this out, but nobody watch back here.
Chase, I'm talking to this.
Oh my god.
All of us were focused on these spots. Nobody watched the back from old. If we're gonna spawn trap P4 or P5 to P1, we have to watch the backside. You guys pick it
Got
up.
another one uncut. One more uncut.
A dirty play, Crooked.
And then yellow. Back blue. We.
But again, look, I mean, let's go backwards here. All of us are favoring to flood the hill. All flooding. There's 4 players right here. Someone's got to come this way. Got to get someone back into yellow as soon as this guy dies. Again, if they try to hit this when you guys are set up in these spots, who fucking cares? We just turn around and we win the fights. Because these guys are separated from these guys. It's odd man numbers for us.
I got another one uncut. One more uncut. Top yellow. Nice.
But because we don't have anybody in the bottom of garage, they essentially spawn here. This all starts because nobody came through and was picked up garage. Watch either of those 2 angles. So they spawn here. This guy slipped all the way around the back, and now you can just see the minimap. There's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. They've got you pinched up on the hill. Now you guys are cut off from one another.
Middle. Top tower.
Yeah, they flipped.
Hey, hold those spawn.
Hold 3 there.
I don't win on this. It's only 2. We only need 2.
He's in the tight left. Tight left contest. Tight
Shankles
left
does not-
contest.
Ah, he's one shot in hill. He's in contest spot.
We do win this game, right? Yeah, we do. Still, way too many mistakes. I've only got 1 more file left, so I hope that...
This is
Your host is
insane, bro. This shit is dog. I popped my monster.
Andrew, what did you play on?
What'd your mom say?
Like,
Hope that this is all 3 DOMs. Tom, did I miss one of the DOMs on it?
Dynamic,
Or I
dude.
said that. No, I'm joking.
I heard that the other one's really good. Linear, I
Linear
heard
is-
it's good.
Linear is good for ARs.
Yeah.
Acne's. But we don't know how many people want to essentially...
Petro over here. Hold up.
And Petros.
Behind that. Why you be so toxic to me?
Not all.
Don't leave pictures.
The one's really good. Linear, I heard it's good.
Linear is good for ARs.
Yeah, good for ARs. I'm sorry I'm being so toxic. I just expect... I know, like, I'm hoping that this is not being taken super negatively.
It's my last day.
It's just,
Gun hitting. Yeah, I can't
I
do
just
that.
need to see. I'm used to seeing more from you guys,
Locker's dead.
and especially after having done this once before. I don't care to repeat the same things. You know what I mean?
Go get B, just get B, get B, get B. Please come back. Watch your lockers, bro. Everything else. If I die, you free fire this.
A's
Yeah, one's by me. Hey, one's by me to the right. You don't need the challenge.
This is fine if you know that there's an OE hit coming through.
He's dead.
Because we've got Brookton sitting here. Oh my god, I thought you lost that gunfight the first time I saw it. Good job to try to escape. You played that right.
Lockers now.
You know, which one you
But we played that correctly. If we think that there's going to be a hit coming from this direction, we have to essentially sit here and say, what do we have in our control? AR is going to watch here. We're going to watch the backside passively. We got this under our control. So the best thing we could possibly do is try to set up a pinch. Right
which
call.
one you do? I don't
Yeah,
know.
Good play.
Vince, watch out. Oh my god.
Alright, do we want to OE
Oh,
C?
yeah, let's get it.
He's on B, dead. I'm one shot. Behind me. Boiler. Oh, wow.
I got the trade. I got the trade.
I'm in
I
Vince.
needed the side. I needed the side. I needed B. I needed B.
No one's on it. I
Is it
couldn't see
boiler?
them.
Boiler.
One shot him, boy, dude. This ain't it.
I got him. I got him.
Biggest problem that I'm seeing right now is that all of us continue to flood right here. What do I have down for notes? Oh, when to neutral was the biggest thing that I had on this one.
I'm kidding.
But we got to make sure that, you know, we're not just hitting middle from here. We can't just hit from here. If we're all three spawning this way, not all three of us should be going this way. Maybe two of us are. The other one has to be cutting through green to make sure we still got mid-map control. Just in case this OE does come through, then you can turn around and quickly respond to it. Or if it doesn't, then you're right back here. And the guy that comes off spawn can deal with this. And then again, it's just a cycle, right? Want numbers here. Once there are, we're hitting the middle. Once there was a guy middle, the next guy off spawn goes over this way. Or picks up where he left off, right? Because the idea is the guy middle comes this way, finds his kill boiler, and then comes into the vent room. Ideally, that's what happens. We send two this way. They trade their kills. This guy comes middle, pinch, and then we've got a setup that looks like this. Next guy off respawn goes middle. Right? That's how that flow should work.
He didn't. Yo,
But-
water wall. I'm gonna just OE C.
Never read Shanko.
That's fine.
We're going for a neutral,
Shit clapped in.
which is this is the right time to go for a neutral. If we're going to spawn trap, the best way to do it, like I said in the previous video, we have this setup. That's the best way to spawn trap. But if this is the thing. Paralysis, I'm looking at you. Once you realize your teammates are pushing through, you've got to start coming back to mid. You've got to be right here. That way, in case someone does try to push through, you can respond to it quickly. See if that happens.
Actually, I'm gonna be a nuisance real quick on C.
Nope, doesn't happen. You try to push forward. Maybe the call was to go for a hit, but that doesn't seem to be the case because one is turning around. Gonna commit to getting a spawn flip. Here's the way we do it. Get some kills from this. We get that. This guy follows up. Guy middle follows up. Guy plays his life. So that way, when we need to turn around, we have this guy that turns around is right here. This guy turns around is right here. This guy at water can come back through boiler. Now we've got one guy that can play through this. That's the way you flip. You don't all go that way. As soon as we all pass that line, it's the time that we're sitting here saying, please spawn in our backside and hit a free capture of B.
I'm here.
Yo, we can just neutral that shit, dude. Like,
Yeah, dude, they're not gonna
Yeah,
spawn.
no.
We needed to go for that neutral much sooner.
Gonna do.
Go kill Forest. Go kill Forest. We gotta kill Forest.
Yeah,
Oh my Forest one shot mid, going green alley.
that's spawn C. You're gonna be
Go
it.
back,
Yeah,
bro.
never
Go
mind.
back.
This is where things get a little bit
Bathroom door,
haywire.
he slammed that bathroom door.
Are we going for C? Are we going for A? Right now, all of us are literally off of respawn, just coming right back to B. We're
Alright,
just
come see what
coming
happens.
right back to
I'm
B.
going through the jump up.
And then when we don't come back to B,
Stand back right here.
well, I guess the better thing is because we all came back to B and we didn't win the gunfight convincingly. Now off this next hit, we got one player who has to play defensively. He can't push forward. And so we got one player playing defensively. Everyone else is going here. If we were to have played defensively off the first part, then go for here. If we win that gunfight, then we can come back middle. But because we decided to flood this way, it didn't really... What are we going to accomplish? B flag is already ours. What else do you want? We want to defensively make sure it stays ours if we're spawning here, to then get C. So then we can come back over the middle to watch out for what will eventually be this play.
I need to watch this.
Won't be dead.
There was, yeah. He was hiding in the back there. Get B back.
Let's go see. Two and B. I got B back.
Another 3.
And now again, we've got individuals going for B. We've got individuals going for C.
B2.
None of it turns out in our favor, and we're...
I got one on B.
Bro, stop going to lockers, turn left, and go cap a fucking home flag, bro.
That's correct. You have to, if this does not go in our favor, it's gone. It's gone. If we have a defensive play, let's go back to the hypothetical. 2 players are playing defensive, everyone else is going for C. This doesn't turn up in our favor, we'll at least have already captured C, and we can start making a play up the middle of the map and to make sure they're not trying to spawn trap. Or, if these kills are feeling really good, we're pushed up middle, and someone is pushing up saying nobody is here, fuck it. Let them stay trapped at B. Got someone watching this angle, we're pushed up here, and someone's making this rotation happen. Fucking trap them up, dudes. Trap them here while that play happened. That's possible.
In water, dude.
But again, we're 25 seconds later, and we're still trying to deal with our home flag.
2 on B, 2 on B, 2 on B.
Alright.
I
Where'd you
spawned
spawn?
A.
You spawned on A?
Yeah, I got A.
I'm trying to win that. I'm
Fox
at B
is
then.
dead.
Y'all are A. I'm trying to B.
Now we're split spawning.
What is...
P3,
bro,
Hey,
P3,
one's back
half wall,
P3, back P3, one's back P3.
Get the A spawns back.
P3 dead.
Perfectly fine.
half wall.
green or some shit, dude.
I'm gonna get
I
triggered,
knew
but-
shit, I knew shit. One time back B, he just
Individual
hid behind the cliff.
gunfights.
And another one went vent. He just went vent room.
Individual gun shells.
Bathroom gonna down B. They're
Yeah,
dead.
one's mid.
Bathroom's gonna come mid, Jamie. Nice.
Bottom half one, another one on A. There's 2 on A. Nice. Last guy's full health, full health.
I got you right, Zach.
Dead.
Good kills. Now. Got kills. Paralysis, you're watching here. That's 4 down. You should be trying to make a play to cap. The other thing we could be doing is if he's going to be watching right here, this is a time dealt with everything through here. Megatron, you just spawned right here. If we know that this is clear, going for a C because of the fact that here's the deal. We have numbers, number 1. Number 2, if you go for a neutral and we're playing passively here, these guys who just got kills can now reinforce in multiple ways. While you're distracting at C, they will have numbers to cap at B because they have to send someone this way to deal with you at C. This is what we miss right here.
That's 3.
Nice. I don't know where this last guy is on.
Yeah, I'm going in boiler. Play your life. Let's just try and get another wave before we get B.
They have a trophy up.
Megatron goes for a flank,
Hey, one's back
but we
Concord.
don't have anybody going for a neutral. So because, again, these are fine. These are cool kills. Awesome. Good for you. But because we didn't go for the neutral when it was available to us, nobody could significantly grab capture of B.
Elite 2. Elite.
And by the time that we lose those trades, they've got numbers. They're going to turn this into a flip.
He's going back for us. Kill Shenko.
Kind of see what I'm getting at here? As far as like the timing of all of that, they go for a pretty heavy commit to get to A. Paralysis is holding his life at B. You guys win that fight. Megatron spawns mid-map. You gotta worst case scenario in that instance, when you spawn here, Megatron, and you've got 2 guys here, is that you are going into... You're essentially saying that me coming back, we have to 3v1 this kid. Fuck him. Get up there. It just there's a distinct lack of trust between you guys in this
I'm
series.
talking about like me, bro, not killing.
I put 3 bullets in his face.
You gotta trust that your teammates are gonna get your kills for you, especially in odd man situations. You guys have the individual gun skills. Not like it hasn't been proven all season long.
Why? This all started because we wanted to go see, dude.
Yo, one on
Not
A.
really. It doesn't all start because you guys wanted to go see. You guys have been spawning at A for the last 2 minutes. The problem is we're just not knowing when to take away again, this whole map. I'm going to say this and then we're going to fast forward because I can't keep watching this. It's all about these 3 buildings. If you hold 2 of those 3 buildings, you will have convincing success over 2 flags. If you hold this building and this building, guess which flags you have dominating control of? If you hold this building and this building, guess which flags you have dominating control over? If you hold this building and this building, guessed it. This one a little bit more different and strange than the others. But the problem is, when we are trying to play for an A-B hold, and all of us are generally going this direction, we're not holding this, and we're maybe holding half of this, which offers the attempt for them to make plays like that happen. Like we just saw here in the last 10 seconds. 20.
No, I'm talking about.
Look what they have. It started as this. Number 4 was Nate. He picked up 2 kills on you guys. So he says, we've got a 5-man wipe. I'm going to go from having this setup to having this setup, which means that they're going to be threatening to hit this. Because we don't have control of any building, we have to know that we're being threatened on every single side.
About like me, bro, not killing.
I put 3 bullets in his face.
Yeah, I know. I shot him.
And I pushed it first as an AR. That should have happened.
Boxes. No, I was late behind you.
That's the end of this half.
Why? This all started because we wanted to go see, dude.
Yo, 1 on A, 1 on A.
I got killed.
A fucking perfect setup and niggas always want.
Yo, does this kid ever die, bro?
You guys did have a near perfect setup, by the way, at point A.
Hey.
I'm going on C. Stun Zach. He's stunned. He's stunned out of oil.
One's in you, one's in you. Yep. Dead. One more you, one more you. Dead, Nico.
Open crate, open crate. 3
Share
bullets
this
in
body
it.
with me.
One's going on C. They sent 2 to neutral C.
Come back to you.
That's all I
You
did.
got me, Nico.
You got to keep your gun up there, Trauma.
Down behind it.
He's
Even I would have kept my gun up there.
Hello.
I made it.
You guys are making me grow gray hairs right now. We have 3 lovely members at B looking to cap. You've got one guy who's going to get a 1-on-1. This was technically a 2v1 situation. We're going to send one player off of spawn to deal with it. But unfortunately, we're already sending... Look how many players we're committing. This guy was playing defensive. This guy has to come back. This guy's coming back. And I think this guy also comes... We're sending like 4 members to deal with one guy at C. Oh, here comes number 9. No.
Oh, he's trying to catch it.
Okay, we got the kill. Kill's gone. Why are you leaving to come this way? You want to be pushing forward. Even if they re-hit this again, if you guys are controlling this and here, what are they going to do? Send more people that way? Cool. Get a couple of kills and take A. You got 2 flags. I don't know why we're going all the way back to deal with this.
Hello.
And on top of that, you got one more who's coming back this direction.
He's in the back left train. Yeah. Good job. Let's cap this, Nico.
Yep.
It's just, luckily we just got a 5-man wipe.
Alright, you're good to go. I'm gonna literally hold C. Go.
But the problem is here is you're holding C from back here. This is what I was talking about in real time. You get no information of what's here. You get no information of what's here. So essentially what has to happen is he's got to play passively. He's got to play passively. And these 2 guys who will eventually get traded are going to be opening up a spot. Because you're playing from back here. Let's imagine that you play up this way, Nico. You're playing on top of crate. You can watch all of that. That gives us control of these 2 buildings. Because we got a guy here and you're playing here, that's essentially control of this building, right? If you're watching this, this guy only has to be responsible for being here. Or if you're up here and these guys are pushing through, he can go to pinch. But because you're playing back here, he's got to worry about what's behind him as well as what's in front of him. And it sets us up for a really bad hole to beat.
One is like back boxes right here. Like back.
Yeah,
You got, I mean, look at this. We're committing 3 people to watch in the middle of the map, and we're still pushing forward. This would be okay if it was like 3 guys over here, 1 in the middle, and then 1 up here. If we're holding this, then as soon as they start to go for a C cap, because they will spawn over here, if we're pushed up beyond this line, if we're on this side of the line, they will spawn behind us at some point, especially if we're doing this to them. If this is where we are on the map. That's fine for us as soon as they go for a C neutral, as long as we say, okay, let's go. We're going to slip this whole side around. We're playing defensive here because we're going to have to turn around to get this defense. We're going to slide through mid. We're going to slide through woods. We're going to take A. We're going to force them to spawn here. And as soon as we start making that play happen, we go back to our A hold. You can make that play happen. Otherwise, you sit here, you sit here, you sit here, and you sit here. Well, really, you wanted someone sitting back here. The spawn trap from C to A looks like this. That's your spawn trap from C to A. Because he has to anchor. And then as soon as, let's say, this guy dies, and someone spawns back here, this guy goes here, this guy goes to pinch or rotates back, you still got 2 members. This guy the whole time is making sure a C neutral's coming through. I feel like I've probably drawn that out for you guys before.
Do we have boiler control?
We pushed up way too much.
Did you try to smoke this cross, Jamie?
Boxes, Nate's boxes, dude.
Hey, watch your boxes. I have your ramp.
One's back, sniper.
But because we're here, 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 and here, guess where they spawn, and guess where we cannot take advantage of it. The worst case scenario for us, because they can decide they're going to hit us from behind here or from behind here. We don't know. We've got no intel. We called out that we're probably pushed too far. The problem is not necessarily, and again, Brell says, you're watching this angle. Your teammate died up here just a second ago. What did you think was right here? If you've got a teammate who's making this push, you've got to wrap back to middle.
Sniper spot, Shenko.
Ramp count. Nice. One more box.
Shenko's back forward,
Nice.
sniper spot.
Nice.
I'm on
Hey.
it.
Oh no, they're on
I
C.
didn't see, watch out.
They're gonna know I'm in here.
Now, we've lost our setup here. We've lost control here. We don't have control of these 2 buildings. So what's probably going to happen? They could get forward here. They could get forward here. They could get forward here. And we've got no information across this part of the map. We've got no intel. From here on, we've got no information on what's going on back here.
Jay, switch with me.
Going
Sit near
here,
C,
then.
sit near C.
Going
I'm
back.
back to 3, back to 3, back to 3.
I can help. Hold on.
Because I have a sighted M4.
Yeah.
He's down here. He's on the heady back.
Green, mid green, going C, going C. One shot on
One's
C.
low, one's low, nice.
Shenko.
I'm going
Nate's
back
on the
to
front
this
head. He's on the front head. C3. He's on the middle.
He's just playing rock, dude. He's not.
course.
Yeah, he's
Shenko,
playing
put
rock,
it
so
on
he
flank
can't get
fence.
mid-map control.
We're good.
Tough.
We can't beat
One's
him.
on rock.
Shenko's dead rock. One here. He's in her. I just got native
We
from
can't
somewhere.
beat, we will.
I got native from somewhere. He's in you. He went in boy.
I got it.
He's rock. Oil.
And it's like, if we're going for B here, why are we sending 2 players this way? Did I just mute that on accident?
Yeah, I'm helping you.
Why are we sending 2 people that way? All we need is 1 person, and this somewhere in that area.
Come back, play it with you, Chase. He's on
Go
another
help on
ship.
boiler. Yeah, go help boiler plant.
Bro, there's 3. Fucking do something, bro! Damn!
Now, here's the problem. Not only did we, again, let them get through here, but instead of our guys at B just saying, oh, I don't even think that, Chase, I don't think you even called out how many feet you saw back here. Because as soon as you call out those feet, these guys should be making that play. There's no way we're getting back here in time. Give it up. Push through here, take A. Get A and B. You don't want to be you want to be trapped right here. We don't want to be trapped right here. I think we get trapped right here for a while.
You didn't tell me you were chowing, bro. Like I was laying down watching them all. I was trying to get a good angle. You should tell me you're chowing.
One screen ramp.
One
Yeah, we're spawning all over the place right now.
Right at the OEA. They're on B. Alright, we're on A and C.
They spawned A, dude.
Hey, 1G. Front bathroom now.
I got one B. I got one B.
Front bathroom by mid.
And when we're in a position where we're essentially we're getting spawned all over the place, when we recorrect and we did a good job of getting ourselves back up, we did the exact right thing, but forget him. He just spawned. He died right here. All 5 of us are right here, guys. We gotta control 2 of the 3 buildings. That's really all I can say. I can't go. I can play hypotheticals all day long.
Boxes. P3.
But first and foremost, we gotta control 2 of those 3 buildings.
Hey, Nate. Is there one on C?
And now look at us. Now there's 4 of us going back to C.
We're good.
Watch your back.
Water wall.
He's in
One shot,
you.
one shot, nice.
Hey, I one shot Jamie. I'm behind you. I'm just gonna cut.
I naded it.
And look what we're doing. All here. Now all of us are going here. Gotta cut the map up different.
Down two.
Yeah, one in boiler. He's in Vince now. Vince weak.
He's
Nice.
dead. I'm here. Boiler. Nice. We're losing C. Go get B.
He's on the heady. He's on the tight heady.
Two C, bro. Literally, they're doing this the entire game. We have to leave, bro.
2 on
Oh,
C.
yeah.
We haven't figured that out, dude.
Dude, every single game.
One's low on C.
Side green
Yeah.
elite.
It's
Weak.
I think I've said enough.
Like the shit.
In playthrough or the problem is we're just not putting enough investment to keeping an SMG. Beyond that too, the AC, but
Dead.
I already talked about this. I think I drew it out for you guys. The risk of going for this play off the rip is that you're going to give up A, you're going to give up B, and once they realize that, hey, no one is challenging us here, they're all going to turn around to deal with this in some fashion. We get destroyed right here. Watch how these guys move. Watch how they move. Hey, guys, nobody's here. That's weird. Oh, we got 1 killed. Look at all 3 of us backing up to deal with it.
They turn the back to police car, bro.
One just ran.
One stop.
They're back double door.
One bottom.
Every single one of them.
They're all close to me. They don't.
All right, thanks, team. We got some 50-50s. I'll stay at B. This guy should turn around and go for C right now, to be honest.
Where's the smoke truck? Right here, to your left.
But he does the right thing. He spawns here, cuts middle.
We just work for B down here.
It's a kill. They stabilize. And now all of a sudden, we're down double the digits.
That's 4.
Stunned right here, Chase.
Oh, he's lying down. I can't see him, man. He's lying in a body.
Hold on, I gotta get something to eat. Snack on some. Three-hour.
Echo's weak. Burning card. Going back useless. Back useless.
Yeah, I'm gonna get naded off B. Bottom L.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You go backwards. They again spawn up. They realize they get the trades. Once they spawn there again, the kills come through and they say, cool, we'll just take your C flag because we're forcing ourselves to be in office the entire
I'm
time.
gonna get naded off B. Bottom L. Alright, you just check.
And it's one of those things that, like, the reason why this map gets so chaotic is because we're just committing to holding the spots that we spawned at. Like, he spawned here, he spawned office, you've been here, we had a guy, I mean, like, this is not a good setup for us. He was watching this, we're focused on that, we're focused on this, I'm focused here, I wanted to push this way. Do I need to say any more? I mean, we're just playing way too individual. I just don't know what else I can really bring to the table here when we're playing this individual. And I think with how slow we're playing does not help our cause at all. To trying to get to a point where we're able to focus on one thing in specific. Like, are we trying to go for C or are we trying to go for A? I believe this is a pretty lengthy triple cap we got going on for us here.
Can we get a home flag, bro? I got one fire car. I think there's another one. Yeah. White columns, make trades, make trades.
One shot.
Nice. Alright, we have C and D in.
Top L.
No, you have
One
C.
more, 2 on B.
Top L toast.
Top AC, only top AC.
We had to sacrifice
I'm just getting full stun right now, bottom, I can't.
losing gunfights here,
Top.
here.
Top dead, top dead.
And then C, sky.
And we're essentially saying we have to go back into this. You're not going to hold on to B.
Yeah, bro. AC crate dead, bro. One top useless.
Just keep pushing through mid. Leave me be by myself, bro.
I got
love
one brick.
Weak top useless.
Useless.
I killed 2 left side. I killed 2 left side.
Gotta hit him.
I got flanked.
Ritual kills.
Alright, let's go B.
Pushing up B, yeah. Metro B here, hold up.
He's behind the heady, bro. Watching combat. Top sky.
Top sky, kill me through smoke.
Got one.
Oh, man.
One toast, one shot dead.
I mean, again, it's just like the hard point. Gotta cut somebody mid-map. Can't all just be doing this. They eventually work somebody up the middle for free. Oh, wrong color. Get that little side peek, and that's not just the first setup that gets broken.
Pushing up B, yeah.
The second one, too.
Top B here, hold up.
He's behind.
All
the heady, bro.
5 of us. No one's watching middle. Here comes number 3. Toast is clearing mid. Nobody's here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get top L. As soon as he gets top L,
One toast, one shot dead.
they know that they're spawning you in office. They
Take
should.
Top L, nice, kill. Close, nice. Got naded.
Oh, that's not good. Bottom build.
Mid.
Dude, can we pick a fucking flag that we want to go through? Like,
Yes.
like you guys keep
And-
going
and
mid
tell
and then
me
leaving
you
me
know
at B and then
You're
like.
just
this
one
is-
by yourself, dog.
Okay, I'll go back get the clip, brother. Got one.
Here's the clip.
Go fucking
One toast, one shot dead.
This is what we're currently doing. Technically that, too. Why are we doing that? We have no warehouse control. Why are we going there? If we had the B flag, or if these 2 guys were about to capture the B flag, hitting an OE is fine. Until then, got no reason to be anywhere in here right now. Get out of this area. We want this for a pinch. Want this for a flood.
Take go, still top L, nice, kill. Close, nice. Got naded.
Oh, that's not good.
And I mean, again, like, we cannot be hitting. We cannot be making that rotation without the B flag. Not when there's still people in the warehouse. No, they're going to be still spawning right in this area. Even if we push through, is this copy paste what happened in the opening minutes?
Bottom build.
Mid.
Dude, can we pick a fucking flag that we want to go through? Like,
yes.
like you guys keep going
And
mid
tell
and then
me you
leaving
know
me
what.
at B and then like.
You're just one by yourself, dog.
Okay, I'll go back get the clip, brother.
Okay.
One police car, bro.
One police car, nice toast. To there. Naded.
Police car, nice. 3 on. Fire car, fire car.
Burning car, 1 shot.
I'm going L's, I'm going bottom
I'm
L's.
trapped here, dude.
I mean, I don't know what you guys want me to say about
Hey,
this
B-
besides.
this toast is forklift, P1. Two left side.
P1
dude.
dead.
We're just doing what we want. We're making individual plays this way. It was 1 failed attempt through here. The 3rd guy followed up, no attempt. You got to cut back to middle map. We got to take this. If they exist in this space, oh, we're making that play, there are 2 things that can happen. Number 1, they defensively respond to it. Number 2, they say, we got this. go ahead and play for a neutral and force them to continue to spawn here, which is exactly what's happening for the most part.
Let's go. Top gas, one shot, Nate. Dead.
It's bottom P1, dude.
If we hold this the rest of half, we bring it back. So just try and get
Two there,
B.
2B. They're all in P1. Like, at least 3 P1.
I mean, we just came backwards and started going forwards. The minute that we don't put on pressure here to potentially contest this is the minute that they say, cool. Easy reinforcements, easy potential pinch. Cannot be sitting here, get a kill, and then say I'm going to go backwards. You got to go forwards. We're 50-50ing the hill right now. Got to set up to stop this reinforcements from coming, because currently we're getting free reinforcements.
On top.
He's in P1, bro. One's on the right side of the flag. Right side of the flag, one shot. Nice.
Free reinforcements.
Go.
But
3 bullets in him. 3 bullets in him.
nobody's here, so guess where Toast is going to go? I was about to go right here.
Run by it.
He's dead.
Let's top AC instead.
Trying to help you, Zach. I got
Top
trophy.
three close. He's just chilling top three close.
2 bottom white crate.
I have your mid.
I mean, does that all kind of make sense? Like,
And one trying to flip.
I don't mean to be so negative. It's just,
Top out. He
He's
ran
in
out
there.
mid. He ran out mid.
gotta do more. So now this is the right play. See what I talk? We got B control. Won the warehouse. We had a guy middle. We got the guy cutting around the back. So we exit and we immediately go to A.
Another one top out. Another one top out.
But I guess with the time that's left, there's 60 seconds. Why are we backing up this way? We have to be pushing forward. At least making that happen. The fact that there are 3 of us here that are essentially backing up and there were 2 of us that were pushing forwards. We're just a little bit lost on what we're doing.
I'll see top.
Oh, then
He's
he
above us.
ran back out mid. He ran back. Yeah, he ran back
Still
out
above
mid.
Shenko. He's not pushing
Go
you.
mid. Top out. Top out.
And
top out. Top out.
So
top out.
guess what? Because we didn't go this way. Really just this way. Guess what they do? They reinforce A.
It's an 8. He's dead. What?
Another one there, Jamie. Jamie,
You
double door, double door,
neutral
double door,
C,
sitting bottom B1.
back right up the middle map.
Top green. 3 bullets in him. Toast. Get off. That was
I'm just playing my light. Oh, okay.
Toast is green, kind of middle, and then one's.
I mean,
window.
On B.
Hit right.
Yeah, kill top 3.
Eight's one shot top 5. Nice. Is he top L?
Yeah, he was top L.
I don't really know what else I can really say about it.
He went bottom green, bottom
We're
green.
just not moving around the map that well.
He's pushing. Yeah, phone booth. One phone booth right now. He's just running back and forth from me.
P3 low. P3 low.
Burning car.
Bottom out. Bottom out.
AC crate.
AC white crate.
Top L toast, weak.
You make fucking Shenko sorry ass.
Me elite.
Oop. I guess I'll get flagged since like we just can change who the fuck
Hey,
gets
middle.
flagged
One's
now,
middle.
too.
One's middle crate.
I'm watching
Made it
top
right,
out.
dude.
I'm watching top out. They have a trophy top out.
Go dead.
Top out's dead.
One bottom, one
Bottom.
bottom, me.
That's
Nice.
dead.
That's 4. If we just hold 2 the rest of half, we bring it back.
Why are we bottled up so much down here, though? I mean, this is not terrible. I don't remember what happens here. I'm interested to see what happens.
Toast just one shot phone booth.
Bottom green one, bro.
Top green.
Two
Top
green
green.
side,
He was top
two
green. He
green
was top
side,
green.
Rest of half, we bring it back.
Toast just one shot phone booth.
This is asking for a flip. Why are we pushing this far forward right now? You've got 4 homies in warehouse. Your solo job is to make sure nobody pushes through or to get the information that someone can turn around and help. When you start to make this play with this setup currently, if you die, no one's going to get back in time to defend against this to stop from them spawning here. I would bet $20 that if Trauma dies right here,
Bottom green one, bro.
this randos
Top green,
team
top green, top
ends
green,
up
top
spawning up behind you
I
guys.
got one. I'm gonna die, dude.
I'm netting over you.
One more, dude.
Where's he?
He's one shot dead. Oh, we gotta
One
hold
more,
the right.
bro. Go right side, bro. They're gonna keep coming there.
All right.
Yeah,
One's
they're all
full stand right. One's full stand right.
Guys end up pulling back. Fortunately, Trauma played his life well enough and didn't die immediately to allow you guys to come back over here and defend this. This is a useless spot. Swear to God, teammate in front of you doing the same thing you are. I don't know what we're doing here. You should be up in AC. That way you can watch the middle of the map and back here if you need to. You've already got, I mean, there are 3 of us watching the same angle. But if you're playing AC, kind of playing like that, with their one here, same thing, that frees up number 9 and Chase to potentially go for a neutral. Or to at least set up right here. I mean, see what I'm getting at? Look how much coverage of the map we have. You block all of that. I did to you guys. Effectively.
Top green, jumped out behind you guys.
Forklift too.
One more forklift. There's 2 dead. There's one more over there.
Two.
Stunned it.
Top green.
They all push there, one push there.
Yeah, and the same thing happens. Again, there's 3 of us back here. Lose spawns. There's only 1 in the back. Well, there was 2. Both of you guys died. And all it took were those 2 kills. Now you guys are spawning out. Mostly because if he stays alive, you guys probably spawn here. Because he dies, you guys spawn.
I spawned C, bro. I spawned C. Hey, Chris.
Top green, behind you, Zach, behind you, Zach.
Top AC, top AC.
Bro, you gotta get out of
Top
L, dog. For real.
What?
That shit was, I don't know, dude.
You should just be left. Like deadass,
Yeah.
just stay burning car.
He's coming to UC, dude. He's coming to UC, toast.
A lot of ways you can watch OE. So essentially what like Singularity
I'm
does,
losing fucking.
They're at C. They're at C. They're at 1A.
Half wall, dude. Half wall.
but they're double ARs. That's their double AR setup for me. This guy dies, guy turns or falls back. But because you've got players here, and then once they eventually get pushed up this way, the AR will sneak back middle. But you gotta make sure you're covering at least this part of the map. As soon as we're in this position, we're not doing ourselves any favors of helping off against the spawns.
There's 2 there. Oh, bottom, 1 mid.
One on A, one shot.
Hey, I'm gonna protect B.
Nico, try to play your life, brother. We spawned here, okay.
Fuck, I
Kills
didn't
so
pay attention.
fast.
He's on B.
One's on C, I mean. Wait.
They just got B.
One there, Jamie. Double door. Another one mid crate, Jamie.
You push back into double door.
I spawned, green.
Neutral and bail.
Other one, bro.
Not the time for a full cap. Neutral. Bail. Don't have B. We just won A. I don't know if we have information that there's still one back here, but this is not a time for a full cap. You neutral, you back out, you go top 3rd, something. Not time for a full cap. You're just asking for your teammates to get spawned around you. Especially if we lose this gunfight in the warehouse.
Yeah, bottom L.
Top AC, dude.
Yeah, you got me. There's 2 on B.
We're triple capping them right now. If y'all can just like honestly just
3
go
on
forward.
B.
2 there, bro. Fuck.
Gotta come help B, Chase. You can't just be here.
Get him on C.
Head crates, one throw. If I hit the fucking first shot and died again, bro.
He's 1 shot on A.
We've lost full.
One more at the door.
Callouts have slowed down.
On the flag. Hey, we can still win this. Just work
Top
it.
L, top L.
You know what I mean, though?
Just
3
go
on
forward.
B.
2 there, bro. Fuck, I started shooting the other guy.
It was spawns here. Lose a couple of 50-50s, but because we're existing here, the spawns then go, oh, we're not going to spawn there anymore. We're going to spawn here. We keep playing out fights this way, and because you win this one, Goes, oh, all right. You want to play from this side of the game, this side of the map, the game says. So we're going to spawn you here. Got to take this neutral and fucking bail. Even if you die. Plenty of time on the clock here.
Get him on C.
Again, you shouldn't be clearing
hit
this.
the fucking first shot and died again, bro.
He's one shot on A.
One more at the door.
I mean, like,
I'm gonna die on this.
I don't know your comps have been
We
lately,
can still win this.
but all we're talking about right now, nobody's directing each other.
I can't.
All we're doing is calling out where people are. Like, we're not calling where we're spawning. We're not calling where we're gonna hit.
White crates.
Let's have some plays here, boys.
White columns. There's 2-4. There's 2-4 just now. Bottom green.
Someone's got to take some charge here, and
Top L dead.
not just someone. I think all of you guys.
We're only down by 20.
I am a firm believer in the school of
Top L go. I'm out of it.
there is not just an IGL. Everybody is an IGL. In an FPS game like this.
Mid dead.
There's 2 on B. There's 2 on B.
Everybody should be making a call. If you spawn up, let's say I spawn up behind Crooked.
One top A.
Top A, top A.
I see my teammates off my spectator cam that they're about to hit B,
Don't get trophy on you.
and we spy in office, and they win their fights at B. I say, Crooked, let's go A. You guys gotta start making some calls to one another.
Why are we all watching the fucking front double door, bro?
No one's and the reason is no one is calling what we're watching. We just don't know.
White crate, Shanko.
We just don't know what we're doing, and I don't think it's just a role thing anymore. Like,
I'm just gonna cap C.
That goes white crate. I got killed
and this
behind.
game's over.
They're
More
split
white
spawning.
crate weak.
But do you guys kind of see what I mean as far as how some of these things go? When we get calls and kills on people in the middle of the map, we have to push through. We can't just keep flooding into B from the bottom side of the map. That's just not. And then we played the last map on our actual rolls, yeah?
The fuck is...
Remember, bro. Hit the left. 3 up.
I needed B.
Oh, wait,
I
watch
got
out.
the right.
That.
Get this Kozen.
He's dead.
Come back to Ambi.
One,
I'm
one,
on top.
yeah, one's
Wait,
blind.
Ambi.
Blind dead.
On the tracks.
I smoked the left side, Jamie.
We got a cap here.
Yeah, one,
What are we doing? We have got a cap right now. We got a guy watching middle. We got a guy pushed up. We got a guy watching line. You gotta jump out of that window and start putting some capture percentage down, brother.
looking for the kill right now, bro.
One's mid tracks. One is mid tracks right now.
Waiting for her.
One's on me P1. One's on me P1. Toast.
Void is top teal.
One toast.
Someone's got to get in and cap that flag.
Toast. Help.
I don't see
Oh,
top
you
teal,
see.
dude. I don't see top teal. I don't see P1, bro. P1 dead.
Double again.
Top on B.
Double AR from C works okay because the whole idea is you've got one person who's hard dedicated to watching here, the other that can be responsible for essentially watching the front side of B. This guy is just responsible for really making sure that nobody comes out this way and nobody pushes through this way. Right? That's the whole idea, is you guard all of this from that AR spot right here. The other AR should be essentially sitting here with the numbers, especially when we have numbers. Megatron, I would have loved to have seen you jump out and then just watch the backside from Lion. Just watch this. If we are watching this space, what does that leave open for our SMGs to do? Exist in one building. This building's in the middle. If we could control this, watch this, how the hell are they going to get to see? They're not.
What's top bullet, top bullet, top hill. Go top hill. Go top hill.
Dead. I died from
Eventually
mid.
get on the
Oh, he's
flag.
going
It's
rail.
fine.
Like
A little bit
outside.
longer than we could have, but it's fine.
Right side.
P1. One is gonna push P1.
Yes, Zach. Yeah,
he was playing like a little snake.
I know. He probably heard you.
I spawned
Oh, no.
P1.
Mid tracks, 3 bullets in him.
Yeah, I can't see my tracks.
I got spawn killed.
Again, you just run circles here. SMGs, this is where Trauma and Crooked are at their best. You just run circles.
Top teal. Top teal. He's looking up the right window. The right.
Here's where our current mental lapse is. One AR currently sitting up top of the side balcony, watching here. The other AR is watching here. Guess who's not watching this area? Guess where they're pushing from?
Top hill.
Yeah, he's dead.
Nice.
L. They're an L.
And he's
Oh,
sitting here
he's
saying, hey
falling
guys,
for
no
it.
one's on me river. Let's go river. Okay, cool. Sounds
Yeah,
good,
he's-
dude. Let's
he's
go.
pushing out police car. Ambi.
No one's looking at it. There's not a single person in the last 10 seconds who's even looked at Riverwalk. No one. And did this spawn get called? Hey, I spawned P1 because as soon as this spawn gets called, you back up the flower, you back up this way, you guys start circling. Does this spawn get called?
L, they're an L. Oh, I just died from a fall. Fuck me, dude.
Crooked?
Yeah, he's pushing out police.
Drama?
Maybe. Oh wow. They're all right side.
I got two. One more online.
Yeah, he's one shot. Top past mat, kinda.
Paralysis?
Top past mat. One's on B.
Megatron?
There's another one.
There's two more.
Hello?
Shot. Top past mat, kinda. Jump up for top past mat. One's on B.
Call your spawns!
Nice.
Dead. Deep.
He's already on B. Back fire front on C.
One shot in the
Dead.
deep. One shot in the deep.
I'm back to top to you.
Yeah, he's just pre-aiming us coming out of P1, dude.
One shot.
He goes back power.
Wait, one shot on back bar.
C2.
Back bar.
I mean, this is all just everything that's going on right now is just a simple divulsion of the simple fact that we didn't call it. Hey,
There's two there. No
Chasten was never given a chance.
The other one made me be. Top
You
two.
gotta call if we spawn
Stop splitting,
P1.
going A and B,
I mean, I shouldn't have to say this. If we're spawning here, that means we have good solid control of this space. If we're spawning here, that means we do not have control of this space. If we start spawning here, that means we don't have control of this space. That should be 101. That's
Can we get this kid close left?
you guys should know that.
Nah, bro, I have no regulation.
If I was doing this for fucking Pels Riverside Berkeley
Yeah, there's
I got one. There's another.
Tech,
two more there.
you gotta call your spawns.
He's dead.
Nice.
There's two more just watching people. This phenomenal fucking game. I have people watching me fucking spawn.
When?
He's dead.
Nice.
There's two more just watching people. This phenomenal.
Two more there.
Try to flank y'all. He punched me. One shot.
Oh.
One shot.
He's dead.
Nice.
There's two more just watching people. This phenomenal fucking game. I have people watching me fucking spawn.
You see though?
There's two more just watching people. This phenomenal.
He
fucking
spawns
game.
here. He spawns here. Look what they're doing. Look at the movements across the map. They're moving towards river.
One shot. L.
They know that you guys are not coming through the middle of the map because they just spawned right here. The only place you could possibly be coming from is from the Riverwalk.
One top tail, top tail.
One top
You
there,
guys
dude.
should know that.
Top tail dead.
That's
Up
three.
in.
Come on. Good B pressure. Nice.
There's
That's four.
four.
One's on one
He's
tail.
back. He's back.
Envy dead, envy dead, envy dead. I could use some help on B here.
I'm coming. I'm
Yeah, top window, I'm dead. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got top, I got him.
Nice.
We had 4 dead. And we just existed right here. Right now. We get this kill Ambi and we all just stay here. B will eventually be capped. You gotta push through the map as soon as you get kills. Forget about the B flag. There is 1 minute and 45 seconds left. You just get control of Hazmat. Keep maybe one person back to cap and everybody else focused on flipping the spawns. You're going to get what you get, which is them spawning back here. Because all of you are past the 50-yard line. When we exist anywhere past that 50-yard line, it will at best spawn these guys right here. But because we're not just hitting past the 50-yard line this way, but we're also doing it this way. It'll spawn them closest to a safe objective, which currently is the A flag. Even better, because idiot Shoddy decided he wanted to go this way towards A instead of trying to pinch. So he actually forces his teammate Spawn to be back here.
They're not pushing back. Only one push back.
And guess what you guys decide to do? You sit there and say they're neutralizing A. Oh shit, we gotta go backwards. Fuck this flag. You don't want this. This way. Why are 3 of you going back to get this neutral? No one's even made progress at C. Go that way.
I'm gonna try and go for
One
C.
push, bottom mills.
And how
Can't see it.
Crooked's making a solo play to C.
Nice. If I can get that, I'm gonna go top tail. What's
Two
up,
on
A?
B. Bro, it's fucking weak, bro.
Nice.
Other one's one shot. Nice.
Nice.
I don't.
I'm naded. I'm one shot. He's going track side, I think.
I got naded at A, dude. What the fuck?
Guess what? They all spawn P1 and say, we don't want the A flag, we're gonna send 4 this way.
We're close to the cap on B. We're close.
Where'd this kid go, bro?
One is weak.
It's just,
I'm
I can't remember a time I've ever seen you guys play a map like this.
They went P5, bro.
Yeah,
Cap
he's
C,
mid
cap C,
track.
go.
What does number 9 do here? Chase, do you go back to A when they start neutralizing?
Watch P1, watch P1, watch
We're on
P1.
A.
Like he's in the P3.
No, you go backwards to B. Smart play.
P1, dude.
Can't
I
get
knew
down
it.
me. I almost turn on him. One's on C, Shinko.
There's only tail somewhere.
It's just like, I don't think in
Behind
the
you.
3 hours now that I've done this, that I've heard you guys actually call a play.
I got that's four.
It's a lot of calling where people are, how weak they are.
Dead. Come on.
You're not calling where you're spawning. Not calling where we need to be moving to. We're not calling, hey, come hit this with me. Maybe only a couple of times have I heard that. You listen to pro scrims.
Swipe.
That's the biggest difference I think you'll notice first and foremost.
He jumped on B. Dead.
Nice. Not a bad.
Did they or something? Kinda gonna.
2 top 2.
One shot Ambi.
He pre-fired me.
You know, even still, I'm just going to bring it up. 10 engagements, double AR, and you guys didn't hold C the whole time. If Chase had 10 engagements and you guys held C the entire time, I would be fine with it. But you're down, and we're running double AR. We're just not getting engagement.
L, hit Ryan hitting L. Yeah, he's dead.
But take a look at paralysis
Hey,
as
one shot
engagement.
back, River. He's gonna go Ambi.
Got 26 engagements.
He's dead. He's dead.
Another one
Nate's
there,
the
dude.
only
Another
one
there.
who's
Another one there.
staying with him. No one else is close.
Top one are dead.
He's still
You
back.
guys just find so many more engagements when you're running this setup. And I think if you were to give Red Chase an MP5 throughout this,
One's Ambi, Nate.
Dead.
Nice, good job.
and again, it's Chase, you're not helping yourself here, my man. You guys just got a bunch of kills. You were sitting up here atop Seal, watching the outside, and those kills come through, and you back up? You gotta push forward.
Why are you shooting my body, you dog shit motherfucker?
Top
Change
dead.
his pocket. Change pocket. He's pocket on
Yeah, I
C.
can't-
Top
Yeah.
hazard. Top hazard.
Pocket one shot,
He's
Shenko.
on the plat. He's on the
Yeah,
plat.
he jumped up. Yeah, that's just my fault.
He wants C side, not A.
There's one blue square. Nate blue square. Nate blue square.
Back.
He's sitting
Back
dumpster
Ambi, weak
corner.
as fuck.
He went top 2. Dead.
Yeah, he's
Pushing
dead.
Ambi. Pushing Ambi. Pushing Ambi.
I'm gonna just play top tier.
Is he pushing past Ambi or is he on
No,
Ambi?
he's going to Ambi.
One's with me, bus stop. One shot. Two there.
On top is one shot. Oh, he's middle bus behind you. He's so weak.
That's tough, Trauma.
Nice.
Two there.
At least you find the double. That's so tough you didn't get that first kill. That was going to be a pop-off play.
I'm going to C, bro. I'm capping C.
I'm capping C was the call. Get the fuck out of A. You guys just stay too long close to where your flags are. You gotta just push across the map.
I was one shot too.
It looks like we are finally making that move. But again, look how stagnant we are. You spawn here,
They're spawning A.
Trauma. You gotta come back this way.
I stuck him at A, dude. I stuck him at A.
Fortunately, the kills do turn up. So like, here's the deal. Like, the kills as this spawn was happening and as this was about to happen, this little play, the kills do come up in our favor. So we end up immediately turning that into Megatron holding on to this area, everybody else going for an A neutral. That works,
Nice.
Top tail,
Holy
one shot.
shit, bro. Aren't you?
but only because you guys got those
Top bar,
kills.
Nate.
Now that you don't have these kills mid-map, Crooked essentially just has to exist, and as soon as you find this kill, Crooked, I would love to see you just immediately come back mid-map. You don't have numbers on the backside of the map anymore. We don't even know where we're going to spawn.
Okay.
The longer you stay back here,
Up to you.
the worse it could potentially be for your team.
That's 4.
I'm just gonna go back and get it.
And with your teammates spawning up now, you'll go back over to A. That's all right. You may give it a go.
Yeah, just keep watching my L, dude. I got your mid.
Did we end up losing this map?
Bar, Shanko.
Yeah, he's back there.
Yeah, he's going on B. He's going
There's
on B
2
right
L.
now.
There's 2 L on me. One more L.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
It's smoked, dude.
One to
Yeah,
know.
let me
One
see,
to know.
let me see.
Elite.
Weak L.
Big him out.
Personally speaking, this is a small thing. But Chase, if you don't hear any information about anything tracks, you got to assume that they're there, especially if your teammates are far forward getting kills here. You should put yourself passively until you get the information. This is just, again, it's a small thing. This is just a touch too far forward. You can't see what's coming over to your right. You can't see any of these guys coming over the top of this wall. So it's a small thing,
Just
but
playing him out.
I wouldn't be surprised if you get traded
I
here.
put 4 bullets into him. There's no way.
Hit him twice with AR.
Yeah, use your.
Yeah, they're gonna be on. Yeah, I'm
Nice.
just gonna cap A. I'm gonna cap A because I spawned back here. Or I'll neutralize it if you can win C.
Stop you one. Yeah, I gotta see.
They're on P2. I didn't neutralize it. Oh.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm decapped. Oh my god, fucking.
One shot, Shanko. Deep left.
Ah! What am I gonna say? Answer out loud, class. What am I gonna say? We went for a depletion on B. We don't need it. Guys, we're up 22 points. You can only get 12 points a minute if you hold on to 2 flags. So if you only hold on to 1 flag from here on out, well, minus 10 seconds, you win the game. You don't need a neutral of A. Why are we risking pushing past the 50-yard line with an AR?
It's on the cup
You
card.
stunned out. You stunned out.
L.
Watching your boost car push.
God, we're lucky that spawn came through there and not here.
Going on B, Swade.
If that spawn happens down here, you guys are done.
One's me, top blue.
I've got him on B, sorry.
There's
I have
another
all
one.
of water. I have all of water. I have all of water.
L.
One's me, L's. Nate.
Focus their bottom building, bro. I have all of left.
He's an L. 1P5. We should win. Holy shit,
Nope.
bro. Like,
Get him on the
One
flag
push
with
through, one
me.
push through.
Here's the thing. Like, this is not a win yet. If they capture 2 flags, they are right in the ballpark. A minute 30. It gives them 12, 18 points. That's a 3-point margin.
He's on me. I need help on me.
It's real tight.
See, kill me, Shanko.
One-
Your math is correct, though. You win if you hold 1 flag. If you guys could just turtle up on 1 flag, you win the game.
Nate's online right now.
Let's watch how this all digresses.
He's on me. I need help on me.
He's
Oh,
dead.
he's
See,
dead.
kill.
I don't know how. Wait, how did you not? Chase, how did you not see
One's me,
this
L,
guy
L,
cutting
L.
mid-map on you?
Focus their bottom building, bro. I have all of left.
Who was it?
1P5. We should win. Holy shit, bro.
Oh, he cuts right on the other side of the train from you.
He's on me. I need help on me.
He's
Oh,
dead.
he's
See,
dead.
kill me, Shanko.
One shot left. Nate's online right now.
There are ones that see you guys. Gotta kill
Okay,
this
go
gun,
away, go away, go away.
I got him.
Oh my. I can't with this shit. Big ass I'm dating C.
Yeah, Nate did it. Got him. Yo, top
Good
range,
win
top
back.
range,
That's a really good. That really is a really good correction.
It's fake.
Paralysis is able to clear out everything going around mid. You guys keep B neutral off the P1 spawns. You guys flood back in. That's a really good retake of the C flag from it being neutralized. Again, a little bit of wonkiness at the back end.
I needed B. You can run.
One shot L, one shot L, one shot L.
You guys win this game, right? Yeah, you guys win this game. It's mathematically, no, not mathematically impossible yet, but you guys win this. I'm just gonna cut it there. Here's the simple fact, guys. It's just too passive on our setups and our holds. We're not zoning the map the way we should be. We're getting too passive as far as when we're going for rotations at hardpoint. We're taking, again, at the 40-second mark, we can't be going for rotations. We do not want to be giving. It's essentially saying I'm cool with you guys fighting a 4v5. When we weren't, and the thing is, like, it wasn't just like we were going for neutrals or going for OE hits when we had control of the hardpoint convincingly at 40 seconds. It was like we were still bunkering up on the hill, and then we were still sending someone to go for an OE. That's not the right play. We got to win convincingly the hill first before we even think about going for an OE spawn flip. Otherwise, we got to think about the map in terms of hill spawns and rotation spawns. Specifically, I'm thinking of Azir Cave because that's when it happened the worst. Your hill spawn for P4 is the hen house. Your rotation spawn is the caves. We're fine spawning at the hen house. We're fine spawning there. If it's before the 30-second mark expires, we're fine spawning hen house. If it's 30 seconds and we still are not in control of the hill yet, that's when we start to cut mid-map to maybe set up a pinch or to cut off their rotation back for the rotation side spawns. Beyond that, we've got to do a better job of communicating, guys. Flat out. We got to start calling out where we spawn. We have to call out where we're spawning. And beyond that, we got to transcend beyond just saying, this guy's here, this is how many bullets I did damage to him. You guys got to start communicating and start directing one another. There has to be 5 in-game leaders on this team if you guys want to have a chance against a team like Tamu or Humber or Georgia Southern. Especially if you're going to make this role swap happen and you're actually going to do it throughout the regular part of the rest of the season. Definitely get as many scrims in as you can. Definitely treat the early 2 rounds as practice. Nitpick the shit out of yourselves. Even if you win 250 to 100, what could we have done to get an extra 40 seconds out of these idiots? You guys got to be extra critical in respawn. I think your search is by far your strongest game mode right now, which is weird considering that last time I did this, I thought it was your weakest. But with this current role swap, there's a lot of considerations that have essentially put you guys back to square one. So let me know if there's anything else you want clarification on, follow-ups on, and I'll be happy to answer them. And hopefully this was helpful in some way. I tried to, again, I'm sorry for being as blatant as I was, but I think it was relatively necessary. So hopefully that helps, and let me know what you guys think. I'll send you guys a feedback form, stuff like that. Later.